Chapter 79. There was a saying that went, "If you bully the young, the old will come." Just like how Zhao Wuji beat up Tang San, Tang Hao immediately beat him up. It was the same for Ning Rongrong. Although Flanders had received a letter from Ning Rongrong, it was enough for him to discipline Ning Rongrong. However, that being said, Kanduru Ashen was very fond of Ning Rongrong. If he was too strict, he might also be taught a lesson. Therefore, he threw this mess to Lin Feng. As a student, even if he really made the dusty heart unhappy, he wouldn't make things too difficult for Lin Feng. He didn't expect that in the end, Lin Feng would be able to complete this mission so well. That was the willful young mistress of the Seven Treasures glazed sect. How did Lin Feng's brain grow? He actually made her run 20 laps on her own. He was really amazing. Moreover, the recovery ability of this guy's mutated martial soul was too amazing. After running 20 laps, the few of them were in high spirits. They didn't feel tired at all. After looking deeply at Lin Feng, Flanders waved his hand. "Let's go. Everyone, follow me." After saying that, he tapped the ground with the tip of his foot. His entire body was like a cheetah as he sprinted out of the academy. Everyone hurriedly followed. They knew that the first class had already begun. Flanders didn't run very fast, but he was still slightly faster than everyone. It was the kind of speed that everyone had to do their best to catch up with. Under such circumstances, the group quickly arrived at their destination, Soto City. Soto City was very lively at night. It was even livelier than during the day. Walking the city made one feel a little dazzled. "Follow me." Flanders led everyone towards the center of the city with a purpose. Not long after, Dai Mubai's expression changed slightly. "It can't be, Dean. You're letting them go there on the first day?" Following Dai Mubai's line of sight, it was an extremely huge building, nearly 100 meters tall. Looking from afar, in the night, it actually flashed with dazzling lights, full of grandeur. What happened on the first day? Flanders said matter-of-factly, "There are no ordinary soul masters in our Shrek Academy, only monsters. Monsters, on the other hand, naturally have to cultivate like monsters." Looking at the puzzle crowd, Flanders explained, "That building is called the Great Soul Arena, named after the city. Only some powerful main cities have it, and this is called the Great Soul Arena. In the Great Soul Arena, you will encounter all kinds of soul masters, and then fight with them to increase your actual combat experience. This was the best place to test a soul master's strength. At the same time, it will also be the place where you will have your combat lessons in the future. Mubai, tell them about the Great Soul Arena." "Okay." Dai Mubai nodded and said, "The Great Soul Arena is a place for soul masters to fight. It is divided into 3 types: single combat, double combat, and group combat. In the Great Soul Arena, any soul master who wants to increase the level of their soul power can only do so through fighting. The levels of soul power from the bottom to the top are iron, copper, silver, gold, purple gold, sapphire, ruby, and diamond, a total of 8 levels." Hearing this, Lin Feng nodded secretly. "Isn't this a typical ranking system? This is simple." Back then, Lin Feng helped his friends to increase their ranks at the speed of light. In just a week, he went from Platinum 3 to Silver 1, which was an increase of 2 big stages. After his friends learned about this, they happily greeted Lin Feng for a whole day. At this time, Flanders smiled and said, "The mission I give you is to get at least 1 Silver Soul badge before graduation, understand?" Xiao Wu said indifferently, "It's only the 3rd level. Of course it's easy." Flanders smiled and said nothing. Dai Mubai on the side and said, "It's not as simple as you think. I now have a soul power of rank 37. I have fought a total of 56 matches, with a record of 29 wins and 27 losses. In the end, I only have 2 points, and it's an Iron Soul badge." "Only 2 points? I saw that you defeated Third Brother, and I felt that you were quite strong. How can you be so weak?" Xiao Wu didn't believe it. "What do you mean I'm strong because I could defeat Tang San? I'm a soul elder. He's only a soul grandmaster." After ridiculing, Dai Mubai explained, "The matching rules of this Great Soul Arena are based on the number of soul rings. If you have 2 soul rings, you will be matched with a soul master who also has 2 soul rings. It won't consider the soul power level. In other words, a rank 21 soul grandmaster and a rank 30 soul grandmaster may be matched. When I was at rank 29, I won several matches in a row, but since I got my 3rd soul ring, I was matched with those powerful soul elders. It was very difficult to defeat them, so I lost in a row. That's why I was so miserable. And the level of soul power is not so easy to improve. The points added by winning a match are very small. You must keep winning in a row to quickly advance. Otherwise, you'll have to spend a lot of time. After that, Dai Mubai continued to ridicule. This matching mechanism is too bad. Even Fatty is stronger than me. He fought 33 matches and won 21 matches. He already has 9 points. Hearing this, everyone had different expressions. Flanders said, "Okay, I've almost understood it. Let's fight first." With that said, he led everyone towards the Great Soul Arena. After approaching, Lin Feng found that the Great Soul Arena was an oval-shaped building, giving people the feeling of a coliseum. The lights inside flickered, and there was a hubbub of voices. It was very lively. Through Dai Mubai's introduction, everyone also knew that this Great Soul Arena had a main Great Soul Arena and 24 subsidiary Great Soul Arenas. The venue was very large and could accommodate tens of thousands of people at the same time. There were also VIP boxes and so on. In front of the gate of the Coliseum, there was a stone tablet engraved with densely packed names. These were the soul masters who died in the Coliseum. When everyone saw it, they didn't feel anything. The world of soul masters was cruel. The so-called nobility was only in the eyes of ordinary people. This group of people was mentally prepared. And in the Great Soul Arena, there were 2 rules: learning from each other and fighting to the death. As long as you didn't choose to fight to the death, there was basically no danger to your life. The registration was very simple. Pay 10 gold coins and fill in the form, and then test the soul power level. Lin Feng repeated the same trick, and easily helped Tang San and Xiao Wu pass the test. At this time, Dai Mubai said from the side, "In addition to the single battle, we can also form teams of 2 to participate in the 2v2. This way, we can get more points because we can only participate in 1 match a day. But I won't form a team because the matching of Soul Master teams is arranged according to the highest Soul Master rank. If you form a team with me, your opponents will be 2 Soul Elders. You can form a team by yourself. 3rd brother, then let's form a team." Xiao Wu said with a smile, "I've already thought a name. Let's call it the 3-dance combo." "Okay." Tang San nodded. Tang San and Xiao Wu, both of them didn't think of forming a team with Lin Feng because that would not improve their actual combat experience, but abuse the weak. Chapter 80. After Tang San and Xiao Wu teamed up, the others were eager to give it a try, especially Ma Hongjun and Oscar. They looked at Ning Rongrong and Zhu Zhuqing with eager eyes. At this time, Dai Mubai said, "It's not good for a low-level support-type Soul Master to go on stage. It's better to watch more. It'll be more useful." So, Ning Rongrong and Oscar don't have to go on stage. Just watch more. As for Lin Feng, you can do as you see fit. Because of Lin Feng's uniqueness, even if he was registered as a support-type Soul Master, he couldn't really be treated as a support-type Soul Master. Therefore, only Zhu Zhuqing, Lin Feng, and Ma Hongjun were left. I want to team up with. Ma Hongjun wanted to team up with Zhu Zhuqing. However, the latter said indifferently, "Then I'll team up with Lin Feng." As soon as she said that, Dai Mubai's expression changed slightly. Ning Rongrong's eyes also flickered. For some reason, she had an impulse to fight. Lin Feng didn't look sideways. His expression was calm, but he was still a little happy in his heart. Feng Ge was so handsome. This girl had good taste. Since you think I'm handsome, then I'll reluctantly bring you up. As if sensing Dai Mubai's gaze, Zhu Zhuqing continued, "I'll team up with Ma Hongjun." "Good." Ma Hongjun's face was full of joy. "Go my ass." Dai Mubai interrupted him. "Fatty is only LV28. He's too weak. You'd better team up with Lin Feng." With that pervert Ma Hongjun, Dai Mubai would never let him near Zhu Zhuqing, even if he was beaten to death. Hearing this, Ma Hongjun pursed his lips. He knew that such a good thing would not happen to him. He didn't dare refute Dai Mubai's words, but he still muttered, "What do you mean I'm too weak? Isn't Lin Feng an auxiliary-type soul master? No matter how strong he is, can he be stronger than me?" Although he had heard some rumors, he had never seen Lin Feng's strength with his own eyes. Therefore, Ma Hongjun had no idea how strong Lin Feng was. Hearing this, everyone looked at him strangely. "What's wrong? Did I say something wrong?" Ma Hongjun didn't realize what he meant. No one explained. Zhu Zhuqing did not even look at him and turned to Lin Feng. "What do you want the group name to be?" You want me to name it?" After thinking about it, Lin Feng said, "How about One Punch Man?" When filling in the form just now, Lin Feng filled in the name Saitama for himself. This group name was just right. Everyone was confused. What the hell was One Punch Man? Could it be that Lin Feng wanted to kill someone with one punch? Seeing everyone's strange expression, Lin Feng continued, "If it doesn't work, I have a lot of backup names like Adventures of Douluo, SpongeBob SquarePants, Ultraman Tiga." In terms of naming, Lin Feng was a professional. At this time, Zhu Zhuqing interrupted, "Let's call it One Punch Man." After saying that, she grabbed the badge in Lin Feng's hand and walked towards the counter. Lin Feng was stunned, then shouted like a salesman, "The Legend of Qin, think about it? Assassin Wu Liuqi is also good." Not long after, Zhu Zhuqing came back and threw the badge to him, with the words One Punch Man on it. Lin Feng put it away and didn't say anything. The main Great Soul Arena. Only those soul masters who had won many matches in a row or those with high badges were qualified to go there. Lin Feng and the other Black Iron rank soul masters, because they came together, were also assigned to the 14th Great Soul Arena. Everyone waited silently in the room, and soon, a staff member called Xiao Wu over to participate in a single match. There weren't many people in the 14th Great Soul Arena, but when Xiao Wu, such a young soul master, went on stage, it still caused some sensation, especially her opponent, who was a strength-type soul master. He was huge, which formed a sharp contrast with Xiao Wu's small figure. No one was optimistic about Xiao Wu. Her opponent said that he should let Xiao Wu admit defeat or something. However, when the referee announced the start of the match, a scene that made everyone's jaws drop appeared. Crushing. It was a complete and utter suppression. The whole battle only lasted for less than half a minute. Xiao Wu was suppressing this big guy throughout the whole process. And in the end, she directly knocked him unconscious. When the referee announced Xiao Wu's victory, everyone hadn't reacted yet. After being stunned for a few seconds, they cheered enthusiastically. Immediately afterward, Tang San, Ma Hongjun, Zhu Zhuqing, and Dai Mubai all went on stage respectively. Except for Dai Mubai's battle, which was more difficult, the battles of the other three people gave the audience a strong impact, and the atmosphere in the field was completely ignited. These enthusiastic cheers even attracted a large number of spectators for the 14th Great Soul Arena. At this time, the host also said in an excited tone, "Next, it will be the 6th match of our 14th Great Soul Arena's 1v1 Soul Battle. 2 top-level soul masters are coming on stage. The first one, 0 battle record. An auxiliary-type soul master with a tool soul, immeasurable flower, Saitama. She's facing a 4-match winning streak. A battle soul master with a beast soul, thunder crocodile, Zhang Jiang. Attention! This Saitama is actually a very rare auxiliary-type soul master. Since she dared to participate in the soul battle competition, she must have some confidence. However, I believe everyone has heard of Zhang Jiang, who is a genius from Soto City's Advanced Soul Master Academy. Rank 30 soul power, very powerful. What will happen in this battle? Will Saitama, who has 0 battle record, win? Or will Zhang Jiang, who has 4 consecutive victories? Let's wait and see." As the host's voice fell, the entire Great Soul Arena was boiling. Assist-type Soul Master. How long has it been since they saw an auxiliary-type Soul Master participate in a 1v1 battle? Moreover, he was facing Zhang Jiang, a genius from an Advanced Soul Master Academy. It was really too dramatic. There were still many people in the audience who knew Zhang Zhang's strength. He was extremely powerful and was a seeded player who was expected to win 10 consecutive victories, while Lin Feng was an auxiliary-type soul master. No matter how they looked at it, this was a battle without any suspense. In the waiting room, Dai Mubai said in a deep voice, "I know this Zhang Jiang. He is specifically stuck at rank 30 to grind badges. He is very strong." Grind badges? Tang San wondered, doesn't the Great Soul Arena care about this? Doesn't that mean he can grind all the way to the highest level of badges? Why do you care about this? Dai Mubai sneered and said, "This kind of people are all idiots. They're stuck at rank and don't get soul rings, wasting precious cultivation time. It's good that they are strong in a short time, but they are all using their future as a bargaining chip. Their future achievements are extremely limited. As for the rank of the badge, how can there be such an obvious loophole in the Great Soul Arena? It is impossible for this kind of person to reach the highest rank by card rank. Do you think you will be matched with a soul master who has an Iron Warrior Soul badge every time? As the rank of your badge increases, the people you will be matched with will also have the same badge rank as you. Think about it. In the battle between Iron Warrior Soul Grandmasters, a rank 30 Soul Master is basically invincible because he will be matched with Soul Masters below rank 27. Bronze Warrior Souls are generally above rank 27, and there are even some at rank 30. In this case, it will be very difficult for you to maintain a winning streak. So, generally speaking, it is good enough to get a Bronze Warrior Soul when you grind badges. Even if you are very lucky, you will get a Silver Warrior Soul at most. If you continue to grind, you may not be matched with anyone for 10 days to half a month. Even if you're lucky enough to meet someone, they will be extremely strong opponents. Unless you want to be stuck at this rank for the rest of your life and be strong enough to win every time you're matched with someone, the end of your grind will be the Silver Warrior Soul badge. In addition, only Soul Grandmasters have more chances to grind badges. There are not many Soul Masters above the Soul Elder level, so you can only rely on your own strength. Hearing Dai Mubai's explanation, Tang Sen nodded with a look of realization. I see. On the side, Xiao Wu said with a smile, this guy named Zhang Jiang is very unlucky. He actually met Feng Ge. It seems that his previous 4 fights were in vain. Everyone was speechless. Originally, when they heard Dai Mubai's words, they were worried about Lin Feng. But after hearing Xiao Wu's words, they remembered Lin Feng's real strength. Chapter 81. Everyone in the waiting room relaxed after hearing Xiao Wu's words. Even Flanders was watching with interest, wanting to see what kind of surprise Lin Feng would give him. But the people in the audience didn't think so. They mocked Lin Feng one after another. An auxiliary-type soul master who didn't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Could it be that he wanted to win against a soul master? How long do you think it will take for Zhang Jiang to defeat this kid? I think it will take at most 10 seconds. If it takes more than 10 seconds, I will write my name backwards. 10 seconds? Who are you looking down on? Zhang Jiang's martial soul is a lightning crocodile, a super powerful beast martial soul. Innate attacks with a paralyzing effect, 2 soul rings of several hundred years, a level 30 soul master. I think it will take at most 1 move to defeat this Saitama. At this moment, except for the people of Shrek Academy, basically no one was optimistic about Lin Feng. In the arena, after the host guided the atmosphere, he turned around and walked out of the Great Soul Arena. On both sides, as the door opened, Lin Feng and his opponent, Zhang Jiang, walked out. The latter was tall and very sturdy, giving people a sense of oppression. He looked to be about 17 years old, but his appearance was a bit ordinary. But as soon as he appeared, the audience shouted, Zhang Jiang, Zhang Jiang. He looked very popular. Looking at Lin Feng on the other side, it turned out to be a bald head. That's right. At this time, Lin Feng was a bald head. Saitama's nickname was already called. If he didn't cosplay, how could he be called One Punch Man? The 1000G ruler turned into a Saitama headgear and put it on Saitama's head. The white cloak fluttered in the wind. The yellow training clothes were worn by Lin Feng, and the pair of red boxing gloves gave people a sense of abrupt feeling in this great soul arena. Seeing this appearance, not only was the audience stunned, but the stunned cheers also weakened. Even in the waiting room, Tang San and the others looked at each other in dismay, somewhat confused. Xiao Wu tilted her head and whispered to Tang San, "Feng Ji's new style is not bad. His bald head even reflects light." Tang San ignored him. Instead, he patted his head and said, "That's right. We should also wear masks, but Feng Ge didn't remind me." The others were speechless. Just now, they were wondering why Lin Feng looked like this. Now that they heard what Tang San said, they realized that all three of them had the same idea. Cough, cough. You Nordians really know how to have fun. On the Seoul arena, Zhang Jiang stared at Lin Feng and sneered. "I thought this support-type Soul Master would be very strong. I didn't expect him to be a fool." He, Zhang Jiang, was 16 years old. Rank 30 Soul Power. Not to mention in the academy, even in the entire continent, he could be called a genius. Arrogance, that was a must. Zhang Jiang's voice was very loud, and the audience heard it. For a moment, everyone was laughing at Lin Feng's appearance. However, Lin Feng did not refute at all. He just looked at the referee on the side and said lightly, "Can you announce the start?" The referee was stunned. He thought that Lin Feng was going to protest or something, but he didn't expect it to be this sentence. But soon, the referee shouted, "I announce that the duel has officially begun." Zhang Jiang was not a fool. On one hand, he looked down on Lin Feng, but when it came to a real fight, he still went all out. The moment the referee announced the start of the duel, he directly possessed his martial soul. 2 soul rings were also revealed. He thought to himself, how strong can a support-type Soul Master be? In a while, he would directly attack. He didn't believe that a support-type Soul Master could overturn the heavens. However, at this moment, Lin Feng moved. Before the referee announced the start of the duel, his body was slightly squatting, like a runner's starting position. This was a posture of accumulating power and exploding. And the moment the referee said start, Lin Feng's legs instantly exerted force, and his right foot suddenly stomped on the ground. Kaka! His powerful strength even caused the ground to crack. Lin Feng, on the other hand, stretched his right hand over his head, and his whole body was like a cannonball, hitting Zhang Zhang's stomach in the blink of an eye. Bang! The latter didn't react at all and suffered a heavy blow. His whole body bent like a shrimp and was directly sent flying, and then hit the wall at the edge of the Great Soul Arena. Smoke and dust filled the air. When the smoke and dust dissipated, everyone discovered that Zhang Zhang's entire body was embedded in the wall, the kind that couldn't be buckled down. The corner of his mouth was full of blood, and he coughed with all his might, his face full of disbelief. Just a second ago, he was still thinking about how to beat Lin Feng, but the next second, he was defeated, and so thoroughly. And most importantly, with that speed just now, if Lin Feng didn't restrain his strength at the end, he could definitely kill him with one punch. What kind of monster was this? How could a Soul Grandmaster be so strong? The surrounding audience at this moment had the same mood as Zhang Jiang, their faces full of disbelief, especially the audience who said that Lin Feng couldn't withstand a single move. He muttered, "It really was a single move, but Zhang Jiang was defeated in a single move." Because the situation in the field was too shocking, arena number 14 suddenly quieted down. Lin Feng looked at the referee with some dissatisfaction. "Why haven't you announced the result of the duel?" At this time, the referee came back to his senses and announced loudly, "I announce that Saitama wins this duel." The entire audience was stunned for a second or two, then came back to their senses and loudly shouted Saitama's name. But at this time, Lin Feng had already left. In the waiting room, the moment Lin Feng appeared, Xiao Wu exclaimed, "Feng Ge, your punch just now was so cool. That guy didn't even have a chance to react before he was beaten down by you. You're really too strong." Tang Sen also praised, "Feng Ge is really strong." The others weren't so familiar with Lin Feng, so they didn't say anything at this time. They just looked at Lin Feng with shock and respect in their eyes. Especially Ma Hongjun, from the moment Lin Feng punched until now, his mouth hadn't closed. It was really too shocking. He couldn't believe this scene at all. A powerful soul grandmaster, with Zhang strength, Ma Hongjun shouldn't be able to defeat him. And Lin Feng KO'd him with a single punch. Didn't that mean he couldn't even block a single punch? At this moment, Lin Feng, Tang San, and Xiao had already been labeled as people who couldn't be provoked in Ma Hongjuan's heart. Looking at everyone's admiring eyes, Lin Feng's face was full of modesty. I'm only a little stronger than you guys. If you guys train hard, you'll soon surpass me. At the side, Flanders nodded slightly and thought, he's neither arrogant nor impatient. He's a good seedling. With such amazing talent, he might be able to reach the title Douluo in the future. At the same time, he was also very surprised. Lin Feng's physical fitness was too strong. That speed, that strength, the addition of a 10,000-year soul ring shouldn't be so terrifying, right? It should be like what he said. This was the result of hard work and training. What a strong-willed child. Flanders was very optimistic about Lin Feng. Chapter 82. The audience outside was in an uproar for a while before they slowly calmed down. In the waiting room, everyone gradually calmed down as they waited for the match between the two. Soon, it was the One Punch Man duo's turn. As soon as he appeared, the audience cheered. After all, his bald appearance was too iconic. Due to the aftermath of the previous battle, their opponent was still a little afraid of them. However, it wasn't to the point where they would admit defeat. The result was that there were two more people on the wall that couldn't be pulled down. Of course, for Zhu Zhuqing's battle experience, Lin Feng didn't punch at the beginning of the match. Instead, he waited for her to fight for a while before he punched each of them. At this moment, the atmosphere in the arena was once again ignited. One Punch Man Saitama's fame was immediately spread. In just one night, many people knew that a bald man named Saitama could send people flying with one punch. Back at the academy, Flanders commented on the first lesson. Although everyone had won today's duels, Flinder didn't praise them or anything. Instead, he pointed out their shortcomings in the duels one by one. After he said that, everyone put away the little pride that had quietly jumped out of their hearts. When he mentioned Lin Feng, Flanders' expression was slightly strange. Lin Feng's battle was too simple, so I can't comment on it. However, you have to understand a principle from his battle. Flanders said seriously, don't be arrogant at any time. You are monsters, but there will always be people who are more of a monster than you. Obviously, Lin Feng is a monster among monsters. I reckon that even Mu Bai might not be his opponent. As long as you can surpass him, then you have the right to be proud. In just a few sentences, Flanders molded Lin Feng into a benchmark of strength. That familiar tone, that familiar gaze. Lin Feng immediately reacted. Wasn't it the same as when he was teaching Ning Rongrong today? This old man was the same as Lin Feng, a chicken soup maker. At the side, Dai Mu Bai was speechless. Although it was very likely to be true, he still felt offended. However, these words were still very effective for everyone. All of a sudden, everyone had a small goal in their hearts. Lin Feng also didn't tear down Flanders' stage. He humbly said a few polite words to everyone. At this point, a fulfilling day was finally over. Everyone dragged their tired bodies back to the dormitory. Lin Feng didn't use his martial soul to help them recover. Everyone's physical strength and soul power recovery speed relied on their own body's long-term training to increase. If Lin Feng helped them skip this process, they would be able to recover quickly. If this continued for a long time, it would not be good for their bodies. Therefore, Lin Feng decided that in the future, unless it was a battle or some other special situation, Lin Feng would not use his martial soul to help others recover their physical strength. At night, it was time for everyone to cultivate and rest. The Shrek Academy was quiet, but the Seven Treasures Glazed Sex Meeting Hall was rather noisy. Fengji, you're not worried about Rongrong being alone outside? What Shrek Academy is that? They're just two soul sages. Can they be better than us in teaching them? Kinduru Ashen's vigorous voice rang out in the hall. Ning Fengji, who was sitting on the throne in the hall, shook his head helplessly. Uncle Jian, You and Uncle Long are spoiling that girl too much. Look at what she's done to the sect previously. She's a little witch. No one in the Seven Treasures Glaze sect can control her. Let her go out and explore. It's much better than staying in the sect and causing trouble. Dusty Heart frowned. Who said we're spoiling her? Rong Rong is a very well-behaved child. She is very polite to everyone she meets. You only see her playful side. Ning Fengji smiled, but didn't say anything. Rong Rong was a mischievous girl. She was only obedient in front of the two titled soul sages in Douluo. Otherwise, no one could control her when she was mischievous. Uncle Jian, no matter what, we can't look for that child this time. You don't have to worry about her safety. Ning Fengji smiled. The dean of the Shrek Academy was the leader of the Golden Triangle. He's very strong. He's enough to protect Rong Rong. What if Rong Rong is bullied in the academy? Can Douluo asked angrily. Bullied? Ning Fengji looked helpless. With Rong Rong's lawless personality, it's good enough that she doesn't bully others. How can she be bullied? As soon as he finished speaking, a young man walked in through the door of the hall. Reporting to Sect Master, he hesitated, as if he was afraid to say something. What is it? Spit it out. Ning Fengji frowned. Did Ning Rong Rong get into trouble? Ning Fengji knew this young man. Every time someone who was secretly protecting Ning Rong Rong sent a message, this young man would come to the hall to deliver the message. And no, the young man glanced at the sword Douluo, and even his voice was beginning to falter slightly. Everyone in the Shrek Academy knew that the one who loved Ning Rong Rong the most was Kinduru Ashen, not Sect Master Ning Fengji. The young man believed that Dusty Heart would fly into a rage if he told the truth. Then what is it? Ning Fengji was getting impatient. The young man didn't have time to think. We just got the news. A student named Lin Feng scolded our young lady and made her cry. Before the young man could finish, Dusty Heart shouted, What? Rong Rong was scolded to tears. She was played. Don't stop me. Where's this kid named Lin Feng now? I'm going to kill him myself. Dusty Heart was furious. He was emitting a cold aura. Rong Rong was the apple of the Seven Treasures Glazed Academy's eye. Even he had to coax her when she was unhappy. Now, someone actually scolded Rong Rong to tears and even played with her. He was courting death. Uncle Jian, calm down. Rong Rong is used to being willful. It's good for her to change her character after suffering some losses. Ning Fengji hurriedly pulled Dusty Heart back. He thought that Flanders wouldn't let Rong Rong be bullied in the academy for no reason. Therefore, there must be a reason for this scolding. Also, he was very clear about Rong Rong's unruly character. Someone could actually make her cry. The person who spoke wasn't simple either. If he didn't have any skill in his mouth, he wouldn't be able to make that girl suffer. As for playing with her, it was fine as long as she didn't suffer any losses. It was good to let that girl learn her lesson. Suddenly, Ning Fengji was interested in Lin Feng's identity. What do you mean it's good for her to suffer some losses and change her character? Rong Rong is so obedient, but she was scolded to tears. Seeing that Ning Fengji was still holding him, Dusty Heart said coldly, Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. We're classmates after all. I won't really kill him. I'll just help him move his muscles. Hearing this, Ning Fengji was relieved and let go of his hand. With a cold snort, a long sword appeared under Dusty Heart's feet. Then, it turned into a ray of light and flew out quickly. Since Dusty Heart was angry, the young man who originally reported ran out tactfully. Now, only Ning Fengji was left in the hall. After looking at the door for a long time, he suddenly laughed. He actually scolded Rong Rong until she cried. Interesting. Chapter 83. 8 a.m. the next day. Lin Feng was waiting at the entrance of the academy. Tang San and Xiao Wu were chatting beside him, as well as Zhu Zhuqing, who hadn't said a word. Running 20 laps a day was Oscar and Ning Rong Rong's mission. He had agreed with the two of them that they would start running around 8 a.m. Tang San and Xiao were just doing normal training. However, Zhu Zhuqing was a little out of Lin Feng's expectations. She actually wanted to run with them. He asked her, but she didn't say anything shocking. She just said that she wanted to improve her strength. What Lin Feng didn't know was that his 2 battles last night had deeply stimulated Zhu Zhuqing. Zhu Zhuqing didn't come to Shrek Academy to study, but to become stronger and survive. If she couldn't become stronger in a few years, the only result would be death. The enormous pressure between life and death made her have only one goal in mind: to become stronger. Lin Feng's strength made her see hope, so her thoughts were very simple. Whatever Lin Feng did, she would do. After all, a 12-year-old could probably beat up a soul elder. This was an ironclad fact. Even if Lin Feng did all kinds of unimaginable things during training, she would still think that it was a way to improve her strength. So at this time, she wanted to learn from Lin Feng. After waiting for a while, Oscar didn't come. Instead, Ning Rongrong jogged over. "I'm here." Ning Rongrong's tone had a hint of excitement. "Let me tell you a secret. I broke through this morning. My soul power is already at rank 27. Her happy little eyes seemed to be saying, "This young lady insisted on coming the second day. My soul power has increased. Hurry up and praise me." However, no one understood the deeper meaning behind this, especially Lin Feng. After greeting them, he waved his hand and said, "I'm not going to wait anymore. We're not waiting anymore. You guys run first. 20 laps. Let's try to finish before lunch. If Oscar comes later, he'll fill the circle himself." "Oomph." Ning Rongrong snorted and ran away with an unhappy look on her face. The others immediately followed after her. Today's 20 laps didn't take an entire day. In just 4.5 hours, Ning Rongrong, who was the slowest, finished. In the middle of the field, Ning Rongrong had used up the last of her strength to get here. When she saw the people gathered here, she immediately sat down on the ground. "Lin Feng, quick, use your martial soul to help me recover. I'm exhausted." Ning Rongrong waved at Lin Feng, her face full of urgency. "No, you recover yourself." Lin Feng shook his head. Dependence was not a good habit. It had to be strangled at the source. Ning Rongrong frowned. "Didn't he recover yesterday? If you don't recover now, how are you going to class later? If I recover for you this time, who will recover for you on the battlefield in the future?" Lin Feng was unmoved. Ning Rongrong looked at Zhu Zhuqing and the others, whose expressions didn't change. Her voice became sharper as she said, "Then how are you going to recover for them? You're not going to recover for me. Are you targeting me?" Although she had been lectured by Lin Feng yesterday, she didn't have much guidance. Her temper couldn't be changed so easily. Who recovered for them? They recovered on their own. Lin Feng said in a low voice, "I don't believe it. I think they didn't even run 20 laps. How could they recover on their own?" Ning Rongrong didn't believe it at all. Hearing this, Lin Feng said calmly, "For people ran. I want to talk about Tang San and Xiao Wu. They finished running an hour ago. Take Zhu Zhuqing, for example. This was her first time running, but she finished 20 minutes ago. 20 minutes. What's wrong with recovering? You, on the other hand, were slower than Zhu Zhuqing on your second run. What do you think is the reason?" "I'm an auxiliary-type soul." Ning Rongrong subconsciously wanted to quibble. However, Lin Feng interrupted her. "Support-type, auxiliary-type. You want to use auxiliary-type soul as an excuse again? I'm not stupid. I can see it. Your physical fitness is actually not much worse than Zhu Zhuqing's. Furthermore, you can use soul skills to increase your speed from time to time when you run. What about her? Do you think Zhu Zhuqing used martial soul possession? No, she didn't. She completely relied on her physical fitness to complete the 20 laps. Hearing this, everyone's expression turned cold. Using only her physical fitness to run 20 laps was definitely not an easy task. She had to have a strong perseverance. Ning Rongrong obviously knew this as well. She looked at Zhu Zhuqing in disbelief. "Aren't you tired?" "Tired?" Even though he was being stared at by everyone, Zhu Zhuqing's tone was as calm as ever. At this moment, Lin Feng raised his voice. "Ning Rongrong, auxiliary-type soul masters are weak. If you want to become stronger, you have to put in more effort. What others can do, Ning Rongrong, do you have one less leg or one less hand than others? Why do you think you can't do it?" These words stunned Ning Rongrong. After a few seconds, she seemed to have realized something. She, who was originally paralyzed on the ground, suddenly jumped up and shouted, "Of course I can do it. If you can do it, then train well for me." Lin Feng pointed at Zhu Zhuqing. Zhu Zhuqing, she said she would run 20 laps, and she ran 20 laps. She didn't even complain in the middle. Can you compare to her? I can. Ning Rongrong stared at Lin Feng, her small face full of stubbornness. Ning Rongrong's personality was very simple. She was just a spoiled and unruly young lady who couldn't stand being provoked. She wasn't scheming, so it was too easy to guide her. However, provoking her with words was only effective for a short period of time. If he wanted to make Ning Rongrong fight in the long term, he had to change his mindset. Thinking about this, Lin Feng smiled. I don't believe it. Unless we make a bet. Let's bet. Do you think I'm afraid of you? How do you want to bet? Ning Rongrong said without hesitation. Lin Feng tilted his head and asked Zhu Zhuqing, when did you break through to level 27? Half a month ago. How about this? Ning Rongrong, didn't you just break through to level 27 today? Let's bet that you're level 30. If you don't reach level 30 within half a month after Zhu Zhuqing breaks through to level 30, then it's your loss. On the other hand, if you reach level 30 before Zhu Zhuqing within half a month, then it's your win. Lin Feng continued. As for the bet, it's very simple. Both of us have to promise each other something that doesn't go against our hearts. How about it? Do you dare to bet? Hearing this, Ning Rongrong pondered for a moment, then nodded. Why wouldn't I dare? Let's bet. Lin Feng, just you wait, I'll definitely win. At this moment, Ning Rongrong was thinking that when she won the bet, she would definitely make Lin Feng lie on the ground and bark like a dog. Who told you to look down on me? When the time comes, we'll see who looks down on who. Humph. I'll wait and see. Lin Feng smiled, as if he didn't care about this matter at all. Chapter 84. Within a short minute, Lin Feng had easily stirred up Ning Rongrong's fighting spirit with his words. He had even set a realistic goal for her. This set of actions was seen by everyone around. Dai Mubai and Ma Hongjun looked at each other in surprise. Lin Feng was too amazing. With just a few words, he had ignited Ning Rongrong's fighting spirit. If it were the two of them, they would have gotten into a fight with her just now, let alone talking to Ning Rongrong. Zhu Zhuqing's eyes were twinkling. No one knew what he was thinking. On the other hand, Tang San and Xiao Wu approached and whispered to each other. Third brother, I feel like these words are very familiar. I think so too. Fengge used to make bets with us when he was training us. He's such a big liar. No, I mean when we were tired from training, Fengge didn't let us recover. This was the excuse he used back then. How can you say that Fengge is a liar? He's doing this for our own good. No way. I'm going to tell Fengge that you said he's a big liar. At a corner not far from the field, Flanders, who was peeping like a cat, nodded to himself. This little guy is quite good at talking. After thinking about it, he walked directly toward the crowd. Dean! Everyone greeted him immediately when they saw him. Where's Oscar? Why isn't he running? Is he slacking off again? Flanders glanced around, but did not see Oscar. Dai Mubai shook his head. I don't know. I haven't seen him since I woke up. Maybe he's sleeping in. Oscar liked to sleep. He had the experience of sleeping in before, so Dai Mubai subconsciously suspected him. However, just as he finished speaking, everyone saw Oscar running over from afar. However, there was no panic on his face. Instead, he looked excited. From afar, he shouted, Dean, I've broken through. I've reached level 30. What? Except for Lin Feng, everyone looked over in surprise. Assist-type soul masters usually cultivated slower than battle soul masters, but food-type martial souls were even slower. Among all the types of martial souls, food-type martial souls had the slowest cultivation speed. A food-type soul cultivator at the level of a soul grandmaster could provide food for 100 people in an army. A soul exalt could provide food for 500 people. Furthermore, after obtaining his third soul ring, Oscar's food variety would increase, which would be extremely useful to the team. Flanders' eyes sparkled as he said, Oscar, You are the second out of the 8 students to reach level 30. Shrek Academy is proud of you. Dai Mubai's face was full of joy as he patted Oscar's shoulder. Little Ao, congratulations. Ma Hong-jun and the others hurriedly went forward to congratulate him. Lin Feng slowly approached Tang San and gave him a look. The latter understood and stepped forward. He first coughed twice to attract everyone's attention, then said, "That. I also reached level 30 this morning." What? Another Soul Exalt? Everyone's eyes were immediately attracted to Tang San. Flanders excitedly rubbed his hands. Double happiness. The joy of the academy. However, it wasn't over yet. Xiao looked at Lin Feng and also stood up. I'm the same as third brother, also at level 30. When I looked at Xiao Wu, everyone was stunned. On the second day of school, 3 Soul Exalts appeared. This matter could already be recorded in the annals of Shrek Academy. At this moment, they didn't know what to say. They could only think of what the F***CK. When they thought of this, everyone suddenly paused and looked at Lin Feng at the same time. Lin Feng and the other 2 were together. At this moment, Tang San and Xiao Wu were both at level 30. As the big brother, Lin Feng should also be at level 30. Cough, cough. Lin Feng was about to announce, but he didn't expect that before he opened his mouth, the group would look over. At this moment, he could only smile foolishly and say, "You guessed right, I'm also at level 30. At this moment, the continuous surprises had already made everyone somewhat numb. What kind of day was this? Soul Exalts came one after another. It wasn't like they were cabbages. Why was there buy 1 get 3 free? After being stunned, Flanders was ecstatic. He couldn't hide the smile on his face and said with a chuckle, "Good. This is really too good." In one day, all 4 of you broke through to level 30. Moreover, each of you is younger than the other. You really are geniuses among geniuses. Your batch will be recorded in the history of Shrek Academy. Tomorrow, all of you will set off to Star Do Great Forest to hunt soul beasts. Zhao Wuji will escort you. The surprise of the 4 people breaking through consecutively and Flanders saying that they would be going to start Do Great Forest tomorrow stunned everyone for a long time. However, Zhu Zhuqing, Ning Rongrong, and Ma Hongjun all clenched their fists and secretly encouraged themselves in their hearts. It was only level 30. It wouldn't take long, especially Ning Rongrong. She still had a bet. She had to work hard to cultivate and strive to reach level 30 as soon as possible. After giving everyone a period of time to calm down, Flanders clapped his hands and gathered everyone's attention. All right, the time for the surprise is over. Next, let's start the second lesson. This lesson is very simple. The main character is Oscar. The mission is that other than him, the other 7 people have to eat one of his 2 sausages. Everyone was stunned, especially Xiao Wu and Ning Rongrong. They exclaimed, "Dean, how can there be such a lesson?" Flanders said seriously, "This is called adaptive training. As soul masters, you will face all kinds of situations in the future. Sometimes, don't even talk about eating sausages. When faced with a crisis, you will have to eat rats and cockroaches. If you don't eat, you will starve to death. Now let me ask you, is life more important? Or is face more important?" Flanders's words were very reasonable, and everyone agreed. However, the 3 girls didn't agree with it. They felt disgusted in their hearts. The ambiguous soul, incantation, and the sausages made it difficult for them to not misunderstand. Looking at their expressions, Flanders said in a deep voice, "Shrek Academy only accepts monsters. If you can't overcome such a simple psychological barrier, you are not worthy of studying here. Oscar, begin." Flanders's face was stern as he looked at everyone sternly. He used his actions to tell the students that no one could get away with it. Hearing this, Oscar didn't say anything and chanted 2 soul incantations. "I have a big sausage. I have a small sausage." 2 sausages, 1 big and 1 small, appeared in his hand. He looked around and smiled slyly. "Who wants to go first? The taste is not bad. P.S. Thank you to Tianny and Shun for your 588 renminbi tip. Chapter 85. I'll do it. To everyone's surprise, the first person to grab the sausage was Ning Rongrong. She picked up the sausage and looked at it. Then, she closed her eyes and finished it in a few bites. Did she overcome her psychological barrier? Actually, rather than saying she overcame it, it was more like she suppressed it. The four of them reaching level 30 in a row gave Ning Rongrong a huge psychological impact. Coupled with the bet, she was filled with energy at this moment. It was because of this that she had the courage to eat the sausage. Seeing this scene, Xiaowu gave Ning Rongrong a thumbs up. Amazing. This satisfied the latter's vanity. Xiaowu actually said that she was amazing. It seemed that she was really amazing. With Ning Rongrong's brave start, the rest was easy. The rest of the people went up to eat the sausage one by one. In the end, only Lin Feng and Zhu Zhuqing did not eat. Lin Feng wanted to be the last to eat because he wanted Oscar to make a few more sausages so that he could eat until he was full. But why didn't Zhu Zhuqing eat? Lin Feng glanced at her sideways. Why aren't you eating? The latter did not say anything and just looked at him quietly. Lin Feng felt a little uneasy being stared at. What's wrong with this girl? Could it be that she still remembered the incident at the Wide Noodle restaurant? Why was she so petty? Lin Feng, who felt a little guilty, immediately went to Oscar and said, 2 sausages are not enough. Make a few more. Although he was speechless, Oscar still made a few more sausages. After grabbing the sausage, Lin Feng took out the chili sauce from his bracelet. After spreading it evenly, he ate 1 sausage at a time. It was so delicious that Xiao San, who was next door, wanted to cry. At this moment, the originally motionless Zhu Zhuqing immediately went to Oscar's side and grabbed the sausage to eat. This scene made Dai Mubai's expression slightly strange, but Zhu Zhuqing did not look at him. She quickly finished eating and quietly stood to the side, waiting. Actually, Zhu Zhuqing was very unwilling to eat the sausage, but Lin Feng had already eaten it. She firmly believed that learning from Lin Feng would make her stronger. So what was there to hesitate about? Seeing that everyone had eaten, Flanders nodded in satisfaction. Very good. The 8 of you passed today's class. Now, everyone properly. Tomorrow morning, we'll gather here again. Teacher Zhao will lead all of you to the Star Do Great Forest. After giving his instructions, Flender left. He was still very excited and even hummed a little tune when he walked far away. Ma Hongjun laughed mischievously. Today, the academy gave birth to 4 soul elders. Let's have a good celebration. Lin Feng raised his eyebrows and ridiculed. You want to treat us to a meal? Cough, cough. Ma Hongjun choked on his words and said, What meal? Of course it's he. Although he did not say it out loud, everyone knew what this guy meant. Xiaowu said with a look of disdain, Fatty, you're really lewd. Your head is filled with that kind of thing. No wonder Cui Hua wanted to break up with you. Being pointed out directly, Ma Hongjun was slightly embarrassed and shook his head. It's not what you think. I'm mainly going to listen to a song. Soto City's entertainment industry was rather developed. It was a big city after all. Small shops and clubs were all available. Boss Dai, don't you think so? Ma Hongjun was also smart. He immediately pulled Dai Mubai into the water. Xiao Wu snorted. Last time in the hotel, Dai Mubai hugged a pair of twins and wanted to snatch our room in broad daylight. Both of you are the same. Dai Mubai was speechless. He was also unjustly implicated. If it was according to his temper in the past, he would definitely teach Xiao Wu a lesson because of her unrestrained mouth. But in these few days, he witnessed the strength of Lin Feng and the other 2, especially Lin Feng, who could simply crush him. He did not dare to provoke such a freak, but it was still okay to tease a little. Dai Mubai smiled and said, Men, Tang San and Lin Feng are still young. When they're a year or 2 older, they'll be like us. Hearing that, everyone immediately looked at Lin Feng and Tang San, especially Xiao Wu. She asked directly, Third brother, will you be like this? Of course not. Tang San quickly expressed his stance. Lin Feng said, You 2 better be careful. You can eat Ollie as much as you want, but you can't talk nonsense. Xiao San and I are very pure. Although they did not know what Ollie meant, both of them knew that it was not a good thing. Stop pretending. Dai Mubai did not mind blowing things up and said directly, "Tonight, I will treat you. Like the twins last time, I will definitely arrange it for you." Pei Pei. Xiao Wu's little mouth seemed to be smeared with honey as she spat out fragrant words. "You two perverts, hurry up and scram. Don't lead us astray. If you say such things again, Brother Feng will beat you two into pig heads." Lin Feng gave them face and took a step forward. He raised his hands and cracked his knuckles. He was full of power. Ma Hongjun had not figured out Lin Feng's character yet, so he immediately said, "Boss Dai, if they don't want to go, we will go. I am very interested in the twins you mentioned." Dai Mubai was not scared, but he glanced at Zhu Zhuqing and found that the latter was not paying attention to him, so he nodded. "Then let's go." After that, he asked one last time, "Are you two sure you don't want to go? Is Oscar going?" Lin Feng and Tang San, of course, ignored him. Oscar glanced at Ning Rongrong, then shook his head. "I'm not going. I'm a gentleman. Tisk. Boring." Dai Mubai rolled his eyes and walked towards Soto City with Ma Hongjun. After the two of them left, Ning Rongrong asked Lin Feng with interest, "You really don't want to go?" "I am very pure. What are you thinking?" Xiao Wu agreed. "Are you kidding? When we were at Nodding Academy, who knows how many girls confessed to Brother Feng, but Brother Feng did not take a fancy to any of them. He is not a casual person." Lin Feng secretly gave Xiao Wu a thumbs up. "Oh," Ning Rongrong dragged out the word. She obviously did not believe it. Then, she walked directly to the cafeteria. Everyone looked at each other and followed her. After lunch, everyone went to cultivate. Those who could enter Shrek Academy were all geniuses. They might be lazy, but everyone knew the importance of cultivation. Lin Feng was the same. His soul power was at rank 69, and he was one level away from rank 70. This was all from Lin Feng's own cultivation. He knew that this feeling of breaking through was very beneficial to his spirit. Every time he leveled up, the system would give him a lot of experience points. Level 70 was a huge hurdle. Lin Feng guessed that the system would give him a lot of experience points when he reached level 70. Chapter 86. A day passed quickly, and on the morning of the second day, the 8 of them gathered at the field as promised. Everyone was excited. It was the Star-Do Great Forest, one of the 3 most famous gathering grounds for soul beasts in the Douluo continent. The forest was huge, almost the same size as the Bala Kingdom. It was located on the borders of the 2 empires, and there were all kinds of terrains inside. It was a primitive scene. There were all kinds of soul beasts inside. As long as you were strong enough, you could easily find the soul beast you wanted. The soul-hunting forest couldn't compare at all. In the inner circle of the Star-Do Great Forest, legend said that there were 100,000-year soul beasts. No one could come out once they entered. It was a forbidden area for soul masters. Even the outer circle of the forest, 1,000-year soul beasts were very common. Even 10,000-year soul beasts could be encountered if one was unlucky. On the field, everyone was discussing the forest enthusiastically. Not long after, Zhao Wuji appeared. However, Zhao Wuji looked a little miserable at this moment. There were a few bruises on his face that hadn't subsided, especially his eyes. There was a panda eye, which looked very funny. Everyone saw this and snickered. At the same time, they were puzzled. What happened to Teacher Zhao? Was he beaten up? Although he was sent flying by Lin Feng's punch the day before, he didn't seem to be injured like this. "What are you looking at? A bunch of brats. Are you itching for a beating?" Zhao Wuji glared at everyone. After seeing Lin Feng laughing, he said, "Laugh. You can laugh now, but you won't be able to laugh in a few days." Zhao Wuji understood from Flanders that Kinduru Ashen had set off from the 7 Treasures glazed sect. He estimated that he would reach Soto City in 2 days. Dusty Heart was going straight for Lin Feng. In a few days, Lin Feng might be beaten up in the Star-Do Great Forest. As if he could already see this kid being beaten up, Zhao Wuji's eyes flashed with a smile. "The rabbit ate your rice. Why don't you call it bear cub?" At this moment, Xiao Wu whispered. Hearing this, Lin Feng really laughed. Because he knew that Xiao Wu's original body was a rabbit, she said this sentence with inexplicable joy. Zhao Wuji glanced at Xiao Wu and didn't say anything. Then, he nodded and said, "All right, let's go." Lin Feng, You'll lead the team. Me? Lin Feng was stunned. Wasn't it Dai Mubai? Is there a problem? Zhao Wuji raised an eyebrow. He didn't make this arrangement casually. On one hand, Lin Feng was strong. On the other hand, he heard that Lin Feng and the other two used to be in the soul hunting forest. They were very experienced. He was the most suitable person to lead the team. No. Lin Feng shook his head. It didn't matter who was leading the team. He was just a little surprised. All right then, Zhao Wuji said seriously. Before we start, I have to remind you that I'm only following you into the forest. Unless we meet soul beasts that are much stronger than you, I won't make a move under normal circumstances. Everyone nodded in agreement. They were already mentally prepared for this. At this moment, Lin Feng walked out and said, "The Star Do Great Forest is extremely dangerous. Almost all the soul beasts in it are very aggressive. We have to be vigilant at all times and guard against soul beast attacks. Let's do this. I'll arrange the team's formation. When we enter the forest, we'll follow my instructions. First, Dai Mubai will lead the way. Oscar, Ning Rongrong, and Ma Hongjun will follow behind Dai Mubai. Xiao San and Xiao Wu will follow on both sides of the team. Zhu Zhuqing, you'll follow around the team. You'll be responsible for scouting the surroundings and warning us if there's any danger. I'll be at the back. Does anyone have any objections?" Lin Feng had been Ah Fu's team leader for a few years. He was able to assign the team very quickly. Everyone shook their heads in agreement. Dai Mubai laughed. As expected of someone who led a team in the soul hunting forest. This allocation is very good. At the same time, he heaved a sigh of relief. After he returned last night, he went to look for Zhu Zhuqing, who knew that he would be clawed the moment they met. At that time, he knew that Zhu Zhuqing hated him very much. Fortunately, his body was strong and he wasn't injured. Today, he stayed far away from Zhu Zhuqing. Now that the latter was assigned to scout the surroundings, he would be the furthest away from him in the forest. Fortunately, this was the case. Otherwise, if they were too close, the two of them might have fought. All right, since no one has any objections, let's set off. Lin Feng clapped and shouted. Stardow Great Forest is still some distance away from Shrek Academy. It's about 500 kilometers. Everyone, run and try to get there before noon tomorrow. It had to be said that a soul master's body was much stronger than an ordinary person's. Even if they were only soul grandmasters, as long as they ate Oscar sausage and maintained their stamina, running 400 kilometers a day wouldn't be a problem. If it was converted to speed, it would be around 40 kilometers per hour. If they were running for their lives, it might be even faster. In his previous life, the world record for marathon was only 21 kilometers per hour. From this, it could be seen how strong a soul master's body was. Hearing Lin Feng's words, everyone didn't have any doubts and started running, especially Ning Rongrong. She was full of fighting spirit and ran first, as if this long-distance run was some kind of challenge for her. Everyone was very fast. Every hour or so, they would eat Oscar sausage and maintain their stamina while running at high speed. Just like this, a day passed quickly. When night fell, the group had already run 400 kilometers. Lin Feng didn't choose to run through the night. Instead, he brought everyone to a small town nearby. Although it was safe to run through the night, it would be very troublesome. Therefore, Lin Feng and the others prepared to set off tomorrow morning. Walking into the small town, Lin Feng found that it was much more lively than he had imagined. The town was very large. If it wasn't for the fact that there were no walls, it could be called a city. The main road was filled with all kinds of shops. With just a glance, everyone could tell that the shops here mainly catered to soul masters. They sold equipment, medicine, materials, and so on. They were all very suitable for soul masters to use during adventures. Without stopping for too long, under Lin Feng's lead, the group quickly found a decent restaurant and started eating. Zhao Wuji didn't follow them closely. Ever since they left the academy, he hadn't appeared again. Who knew where he was observing them like a cat? Lin Feng and the other new students didn't think much of this scene. However, Dai Mubai and the other two seniors clicked their tongues in wonder. In the past, although teacher Zhao wouldn't casually make a move when they went out, he would at least follow them. They didn't expect that he wouldn't even follow them this time. How much did he trust Lin Feng? However, when they thought about Lin Feng's various commands during the journey today, they looked at him with a trace of admiration. Chapter 87. While everyone was eating, a group of people wearing academy uniforms suddenly walked in from the entrance of the hotel. The leader was a middle-aged man in his 40s. He wore a moon-white soul master robe and looked very noble. As soon as they entered, the hotel owner hurriedly came forward with a few employees, nodding and bowing to serve them. The group of people also naturally enjoyed these services. This group of people quickly attracted everyone's attention, especially Ma Hongjun. He stared at the only girl in the group, saliva almost flowing out of the corner of his mouth. Xiao Wu asked curiously, "Are they also here to hunt for soul rings? The words Sanghui are written on their clothes. Are they from Sanghui Academy?" Oscar explained, "Generally, people who come to Star Dogray Forest are here to hunt soul beasts. The Academy's uniform is usually engraved with the Academy's name. They are from Sanghui Academy." At this point, Oscar paused and said, "Actually, our Academy should also give us uniforms, but we are too poor, so we didn't. Their Shrek Academy was really poor and didn't have any benefits at all. If it weren't for the subsidies from the Martial Spirit Hall, even eating would be a problem for them." At this moment, Dai Mubai sneered, "I thought it was some powerful academy. So it's just a small Sanghui Academy. I really don't know what to be proud of." Those who don't know would think that Heaven Do Imperial Academy has arrived. Lin Feng and the others were dressed ordinarily and only treated themselves as ordinary people. It was their business that the hotel didn't recognize them as soul masters. But now, there was a group of people in front of them who were being treated specially by the hotel owner. To Lin Feng and the others, this wasn't to say that they were mentally unbalanced, but simply felt unhappy. A group of rookies. What right did they have to be so arrogant in front of them? So at this moment, Dai Mubai directly mocked them. Ma Hongjun added, "That's right. Don't you know the strength of your own academy? Which academy are you from?" The people from Sanghui Academy weren't stupid. These two people were so arrogant, they had to figure out the situation first. "Listen up. We're from Shrek Academy." Ma Hongjun was also an arrogant person. At this moment, he stood up with an arrogant expression on his face. "Shrek Academy?" The people from Sanghui Academy looked at each other. Then they all shook their heads. "Never heard of it. A few wild brats from an unknown academy actually dare to be arrogant in front of our Sanghui Academy. You're really looking for a beating." The two of them shouted and rushed towards Ma Hongjun. Shrek Academy wasn't well known. They had never heard of it and thought that it was some random school. Most importantly, Lin Feng's group was too young. They were just a bunch of brats who didn't know the immensity of heaven and earth. They actually dared to mock people from the Sanghui Advanced Soul Master Academy. They had to be taught a lesson. "Basta!" Ma Hongjun shouted and immediately hid behind Dai Mubai. The latter clenched his fists, twisted his neck, and said angrily, "Very well, let's see who's the unknown Wild Academy today." Dai Mubai still had a sense of belonging to Shrek Academy. Although the Academy's teachers were strict, he knew that it was all for their own good, so he had never complained. Now that there were people who didn't know the name of Shrek Academy, he would beat them until they knew. "White Tiger, attach!" With a low shout, Dai Mubai went forward. Bang! Bang! With two casual punches, the two people from Sanghui Academy who rushed over were sent flying back. Cough, cough. This guy is very strong. Everyone attacked together. The two people who fell to the ground quickly stood up, shouted, and revealed their respective soul rings. Under the call of their companions, more than half of the people from Sanghui Academy rushed out and revealed their soul rings. In an instant, more than 10 white and yellow soul rings lit up in the hotel. Needless to say, the way this group of people lit up their soul rings was very powerful. At this moment, in the eyes of the people from Sanghui Academy, because Dai Mubai was a little older, they thought that Dai Mubai was stronger, so they thought that defeating Dai Mubai alone would be enough. However, they were wrong, and very wrong. Looking at the soul rings of this group of people, Dai Mubai sneered, "Just a group of soul grandmasters and even 10-year soul rings. So weak. Who gave you the confidence to teach me a lesson? A bunch of trash. I'll let you see what a genius is. With that, Dai Mubai directly revealed his 3 soul rings. Yellow, purple. Soul Elder. The purple soul ring, which represented the 1,000-year level, made the students of Tsanghui Academy swallow their saliva. Dai Mubai was about the same age as them, but they didn't expect him to reach the level of a soul elder and even obtain a 1,000-year soul ring. It was really surprising. The surprised faces of the group made Dai Mubai very satisfied, but at this moment, he subconsciously looked back at Lin Feng. A 1,000-year soul ring had already shocked these people. If they knew that Lin Feng had a 10,000-year soul ring, wouldn't they be scared silly? So what if you're a soul elder? We have so many people, we'll still beat you. The person who was sent flying by Dai Mubai shouted and rushed forward. Seeing this, his companions could only rush forward. On Dai Mubai's side, he had the advantage of being the first to attack, and at that time, he was even possessed by his martial soul. At this moment, 7 prepared soul grandmasters rushed up at once. He was still a little weak. He turned around and shouted, "Fatima, let's greet them together." "All right, no problem." With Dai Mubai going all out in his own long-range AoE, Ma Hongjun was still confident in dealing with these people. At this moment, Xiao Wu also jumped out. "Fighting, I love it." Xiao Wu liked to cause trouble the most. If Tang Xin hadn't pulled her back just now, she would have been the first to go up and start a team. It wouldn't be bad to go up now. Let your sister fight? Aren't you two going to help? Seeing Lin Feng and Tang San indifferent, Oscar was surprised. Tang San chuckled. Xiao Wu is very strong. These people are going to be unlucky. Just as he finished speaking, the two sides started fighting. There were a total of 7 people. Dai Mubai and Ma Hongjun dealt with 4, and the remaining 3 were dealt with by Xiao Wu alone. Oscar wasn't worried about Dai Mubai's side, but he felt that something might happen to Xiao Wu's side. After all, he had seen Xiao Wu's fighting strength in the Great Soul Arena. However, half a minute later, when Xiao Wu neatly beat the 3 people to the ground, Oscar opened his mouth wide. He looked at Tang San, then looked at Xiao Wu, and said as if he understood something, "So you two didn't use your full strength when you were in the Great Soul Arena before." Tang San narrowed his eyes and imitated Lin Feng's tone. "Didn't I break through yesterday? So I'm a little stronger than before." Oscar. Chapter 88. Enough. Everyone stop. Suddenly, a slightly dignified low shout came from the direction of Tsanghui Academy. Everyone looked towards the voice and found that the person who spoke was the middle-aged man who led the group. Lin Feng guessed that this should be the teacher of this group of students. This guy was still strong. Dai Mubai felt a strong threat from him and stopped vigilantly. Taking advantage of this gap, a group of bruised and swollen Tsanghui Academy students hurriedly ran back. "My name is Yi Zhiqiu, the director of Tsanghui Academy's Foreign Affairs Department. You guys are from Shrek Academy, right? Call your teacher out." Yi Zhiqiu took a step forward and possessed his martial soul. He shouted, "You guys bully people like this. If you don't give me an explanation, today's matter won't end." Yi Zhiqiu's martial soul was a beast martial soul black tortoise. After possessing his body, his limbs shortened a lot and his back bulged into a huge carapace, which looked a little funny. However, the white, yellow, purple, and purple soul rings on his body made the onlookers unable to laugh. This was a Soul King above rank 50. Although his soul ring combination was terrible, he was still a Soul King and his aura was very strong. At this moment, just the pressure of his soul power was enough to make Dai Mubai retreat. But soon he stabilized his body and sneered. "Explanation? A little Soul King? You want our teacher to come out and give you an explanation? You're not qualified. The few of us are enough to deal with you." "Little Soul King?" Yi Zhiqiu was stunned and couldn't help but laugh. "Then I'll have to experience your skills today. Let's go outside. Don't destroy other people's hotel." A few kids, they thought they were so powerful that they dared to challenge him. A Soul King. He, Yi Zhiqiu, would let these kids know in a few days why the flowers were so red. When a group of people from Tsanghui Academy went out, Ma Hongjun said with some surprise. Are we really going to fight? Should we call Teacher Zhao? What a coward. Xiao Wu mocked. It's just a level 50 tortoise. What's there to be afraid of? Let's go together. We can definitely beat him. Besides, even if they can't beat us, don't they have Fengge? With Feng Ji's strength, when he punches that old bastard 8 times, his tortoise shell will be broken into 8 pieces. Question mark. Although that was what she said, it felt weird coming from Xiao Wu's mouth. However, everyone tacitly shifted their gazes to Lin Feng, wanting to see what he had to say. On the other side, Lin Feng didn't panic at all from the beginning to the end. He ate the dishes on the table at a leisurely pace. At this moment, he was being watched by everyone. He didn't look nervous at all. Instead, he asked with a smile, "This meat is delicious. Don't you want to eat more?" Everyone was speechless. Soul Kings are about to come knocking on our door, and you're still in the mood to eat. Don't worry, don't worry. Lin Feng stopped teasing them and said seriously, "Fight. King fight. Who cares who he is, whether he's a Soul King or a Soul Emperor? As long as I'm here, don't worry about it. This is a good opportunity for you to increase your experience in actual combat and teamwork. You have to grasp it well. When the time comes and you can't beat him, I'll blow him up with a single punch." Although everyone was skeptical of Lin Feng's claim that he could blow a Soul King up with a single punch after hearing it, everyone's confidence was instantly boosted. Besides, even if Lin Feng couldn't beat him, wasn't Teacher Zhao still nearby? When the time came, he would definitely make a move. With Lin Feng's support, Tang Sen immediately analyzed the situation. The Yi Zhiqiu's martial soul is the black tortoise. His defensive abilities are outstanding, and it'll be difficult for us to break through his defense. However, his offensive strength shouldn't be very high. Also, his speed should be relatively slow. We can deal with him like we dealt with Teacher Zhao. In a moment, Mu Bai and I will focus on restricting that guy's movements. Xiao Wu will provide support in the middle, and Zhu Zhuqing will be responsible for finding an opportunity to launch a sneak attack. Ma Hongjun, you just have to wait for us to restrict him before attacking him fiercely. The fire you spit out can restrain him. Also, Oscar, make some sausages. We'll bring some with us and try to wear him down. This was the best strategy they could think of in a short period of time. Everyone nodded after hearing it and prepared to go out and fight. Lin Feng hurriedly called out to them and said, "Tang San's analysis isn't bad, but it's very shallow. Let me analyze it for you guys again." Hearing this, everyone's attention was immediately attracted. Tang San rubbed his nose and pricked up his ears in curiosity. Lin Feng said unhurriedly, "This old tortoise is the same as Teacher Zhao. He belongs to the defense type, martial soul. Soul masters with this kind of martial soul generally only have 2 types of development paths. The first type is purely defense type. All of their soul skills and soul rings are aimed at increasing their defensive power. This kind of soul master is very useful in a team and can absorb tons of damage for their companions. The second type, which is also the more common type, is the comprehensive type. Although they also have defensive skills, they also have restriction type soul skills and long-range offensive soul skills. The first type of soul master usually only appears in special places, such as the army or sections. Clearly, this Yi Zhiqiu isn't one, so he can only belong to the comprehensive type, and the black tortoise is of the water element. I'm guessing that his soul skills might be related to water or ice. If it's long range, he might directly spray water or condense icicles or icicles. If it's close, he might use cold air to slow down or something. It's similar to Teacher Zhao's gravity field. Hearing Lin Feng's clear and logical analysis, everyone felt that it was very reasonable. But thinking about it carefully, Lin Feng was actually able to analyze the opponent's soul skills just by looking at his martial soul. What is this? Is he opening his heaven's eye? Hey. Everyone is looking at me suspiciously. Don't you believe me? Lin Feng put his hands on his hips. All of you scram. Go out and fight with that tortoise. If you can't win in the end, I'll step in. Okay? At this moment, Yi Zhiqiu had already formed a formation outside. The melon-eating crowd had also gathered around, ready to watch the show. Melon seeds, soft drinks, and benches were all ready, waiting for the start of the show. And in the hotel lobby, Tang San's group of 7 had also finished their preparations and slowly walked out. There was no need to say anything. As soon as they met, the two sides pulled apart their auras and directly attacked. Ning Rongrong's small hand trembled. Other than Oscar, 2 buffs immediately appeared on the other 5. After doing this, she tilted her head and glanced at Lin Feng with a look that said, "I did well. Shouldn't you be praising me for my looks?" Lin Feng smiled and gave her a thumbs up. Ning Rongrong smiled proudly, but suddenly turned her head and snorted, expressing that she didn't care at all. Lin Feng, this girl's unruly nature is slowly turning into its tsundere? Chapter 89. With Ning Rongrong's support, the 5 of them responded according to Tang San's strategy. It didn't matter if they didn't fight, but once they did, the 5 of them were incomparably shocked. That old bastard, Yi Zhiqiu, emitted a cold aura all over his body. As long as they got close, they would feel a chill, as if they were about to be frozen. That wasn't the most important thing. The most important thing was that his mouth could spray water. Lin Feng had hit the nail on the head with these 2 soul skills. With just a simple glance at the opponent's martial soul, he was able to analyze them all. Because he was mentally prepared, under the attacks of the 7 of them, he was almost unharmed. But this bastard's tortoiseshell was really too hard. Their attacks were like scratching an itch, and the situation was deadlocked for a while. You little guys are quite strong. You can actually hold out against me for so long. But that's it. Yi Zhiqiu was still very surprised by the strength of these 5 people, but his face was full of disdain. Before I use my full strength, I'll give you a chance. It's not too late to admit your mistakes. He wasn't boasting. Although Dai Mubai's group of 7 were geniuses, under the situation where they couldn't break through his defense, as long as Yi Zhiqiu used his full strength, one of them would be injured. It wouldn't be long before the 7 of them suffered a crushing defeat. Tang San was also aware of this point. He didn't insist and directly turned around and shouted, "Feng Gu, it's your turn." Xiao Wu said angrily, "Feng Gu, let this old bastard see the power of your one-punch Superman." Hearing the words, "one-punch Superman," Zhu Zhuqing subconsciously turned around to look at Lin Feng. "You're here." Lin Feng smiled and stood in front of the crowd. Lin Feng let the 7 of them fight, with Yi Zhiqiu with the intention of letting them gain experience. After observing for a while, the results were quite good. Let me see if this old bastard's tortoiseshell is as hard as my fist. Lin Feng had a smile on his face as he slowly raised his right hand. A small flower with a strange color was spinning in his hand. Looking at Lin Feng's young age, Yi Zhiqiu sneered, "You little doll, aren't you afraid that the wind will cut your tongue? You're not qualified." As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Feng suddenly trembled. 2 soul rings, 1 yellow and 1 black, appeared. Not to mention the yellow soul ring. The bright black soul ring was still incomparably dazzling even in the night. The people from Tsanghui Academy and the surrounding onlookers were all dumbfounded. That's a 10,000-year soul ring? A soul grandmaster with a 10,000-year soul ring. How is this possible? A Tsanghui Academy student's voice was trembling. Everyone thought that Dai Mubai's 7 perfect soul rings were already abnormal enough. As for Lin Feng, he looked like a weak soul master who didn't even dare to show his face. But in the end, their guesses were all wrong. Ridiculously wrong. Good boy, you do have some ability. Yi Zhiqiu was shocked by the 10,000-year soul ring just now. After all, it was something that even he didn't have, but he quickly came back to his senses. So what if it's a 10,000-year soul ring? You only have 2 soul rings, and the highest is rank 30. Little soul grandmaster, can you overturn the heavens in front of a soul king? Overturning the heavens can't, but overturning the earth can. After saying this, Lin Feng suddenly moved. Because of the strength of his soul skills, Lin Feng could divide his strength into 6 levels. The first level was when Lin Feng appeared in front of everyone. After disguising his strength, he was equivalent to a top soul ancestor, but he could increase it at any time. The second level was when he didn't use anything, not even some of the additional characteristics of his soul rings. Just in terms of pure physical strength, he was comparable to a soul emperor. The third level was when he used all of his soul skills, except for amplification. His attacks would also have some fire, thunder, and so on. Under these circumstances, a soul sage could contend. The fourth level was when he used the armored demonic bear transformation, increasing all of his attributes by 4 times. He could even put up a fight with Soul Douluo. The fifth level was when he used all of his soul skills except for netherworld energy. He could beat title Douluo and below. The sixth level was when he used all of his soul skills. He could go head-to-head with title Douluo under rank 95. The main reason was that netherworld energy was too strong. It increased his speed by 10 times, and he could transform into a shadow. This gave Lin Feng the courage to challenge title Douluo. But now, he was only facing a soul king who didn't even have a 10,000-year soul ring. He was too weak. Lin Feng could deal with him even with the first level of strength. Mystical tortoise armor. Seeing Lin Feng rush over, Yi Zhiqiu was very alert. He immediately activated his defensive soul skill. Fengge, this old turtle's defense is very strong. Be careful, Tang Sen warned from afar. Lin Feng smiled. Without hesitation, his body flashed, and his fist landed on Yi Zhiqiu's body. Bang! With a muffled sound, Yi Zhiqiu's expression changed. His pupils shrank as he felt an irresistible force coming from his tortoise shell. Then, under everyone's astonished gazes, he, a soul king, was actually forced back a small step by this ordinary punch. What a strong force! Was this guy born with divine strength? But now was not the time to think about this. While Lin Feng was close, Yi Zhiqiu reacted and shouted, "Mystical water ice seal." As his soul ring lit up, a large amount of cold air gushed out from his body. He quickly pressed himself against Lin Feng. Lin Feng didn't seem to have time to retreat. The cold air immediately spread along his arm. In just a few seconds, Lin Feng's entire arm was frozen. "Brat, you're still too inexperienced. After being hit by my cold air, it won't be long before your arm dies. Why don't you admit defeat?" Yi Zhiqiu's face was calm, as if victory was already in his grasp. "Hee, insignificant skill. You actually dared to show off in front of an expert." Lin Feng laughed lightly. With a light shake of his arm, the ice cubes turned into ice shards and fell to the ground. "Yi Zhiqiu, you old bastard." Lin Feng brushed off the ice shards on his arm. "You're not qualified to freeze me." That understatement made Yi Zhiqiu's face turn pale. This Lin Feng was more difficult to deal with than he thought. At this moment, Lin Feng suddenly said, "The warm-up is over. Now I'll let you experience what it means to be a one-punch Superman. Watch me smash you old bastard with one punch." Hearing this, everyone was stunned. Not only Yi Zhiqiu, even Dai Mubai and the others behind Lin Feng were in disbelief. Bullshit. Ning Rongrong was the first to not believe it. Lin Feng was able to send teacher Zhao flying with one punch because he was lucky. Teacher Zhao didn't even use his soul skill, but this big turtle used his soul skill. In any case, it's still a soul king. How could Lin Feng knock it down with one punch? Fengge is so strong. If he says he can do it, then he can. Xiao Wu had unconditional trust in Lin Feng. Tang Sen also nodded. Fengge can do it. For so many years, as long as it was Lin Feng who said it, there was nothing he couldn't do. Seeing the two so sure, the others couldn't help but believe it. They all looked at the field with a trace of expectation. Chapter 90. Knock me over with one punch? Yi Zhiqiu was amused by this sentence. He had to admit that Lin Feng's strength was strong, but he was still far from being able to knock him down. As long as you can knock me over with one punch today, I, Yi Zhiqiu, will immediately apologize to you and leave with the people of Sanghui Academy. Although he said this, Yi Zhiqiu's face was full of mockery, making it obvious that this was an impossible thing. Apologize? That's not necessary. Hearing this, everyone was still very puzzled. When did Lin Feng become so easy to talk to? However, his next sentence made the people of Sanghui Academy instantly explode. After all, your Tsanhui Academy is so weak, not worthy. Stinking brat, you. The group of people from Tsanhui Academy cursed. At this moment, Lin Feng punched. Yi Zhiqiu had been wary of Lin Feng. At this moment, when the latter punched, he immediately went into a defensive posture. Old bastard, you were lucky to block it the first time. Don't think you can block it the second time. Mighty heavenly thunder. As Lin Feng growled, a large number of tiny lightning bolts appeared on his fist. What? Yi Zhiqiu was horrified, his face full of disbelief. His black, tortoise martial spirit and soul skills were all related to water. The thing that restrained his martial spirit the most was not fire, but this tyrannical thunder. Water can conduct electricity, and when thunder attacks hit his body, the damage would be multiplied. At this moment, Lin Feng's movements were as fast as lightning, and his fist landed on Yi Zhiqiu's turtle shell. The lightning arcs in his hand followed the momentum of the fist and spread to Yi Zhiqiu's body in an instant. Crackling sounds could be heard. Yi Zhiqiu's whole body was numb, and his defense had been reduced by more than half. At this moment, the power of Lin Feng's fist was transmitted through his turtle shell, sending him flying. Bang! Yi Zhiqiu fell to the ground not far away, his 4 feet in the air, his whole body trembling, and the power of thunder had not stopped. This scene had already stunned the audience, and they even forgot to eat the melon seeds in their hands. Everyone from Tsanhui Academy was also pale. It was only today that they realized what a true genius was. It was just one punch. This was a rank 50 Soul King, yet he was knocked over by a single punch. He was still twitching on the ground. Some of the students who wanted to help the teachers up were electrocuted to the ground by Yi Zhiqiu. This made everyone even more aware of Lin Feng's strength. Everyone from the Tsanhui Academy was very nervous. How is it? If you say you can knock him over with one punch, then I'll knock him over with one punch. Is my one-punch man an undeserved reputation? Lin Feng smiled. The feeling of being stared at in shock by everyone was pretty good. Wow, Feng Ji's punch was so cool. Xiao Wu was the first to run over. Everyone else also came over. Only Ning Rongrong stood there in a daze. She was still in disbelief. How could Lin Feng be so powerful? 12 years old, yet he was able to knock over a Soul King with a single punch. This was simply too terrifying. Was this still the strength of a Soul Grandmaster? On the other hand, Zhu Zhuqing looked at Lin Feng with shining eyes. She had always believed that as long as she trained with Lin Feng, her strength would become very strong. Now it seemed that it was indeed so. The effect was far beyond her expectations. On Lin Feng's side, after being flattered a few times, Yi Zhiqiu had also temporarily recovered. He stood up shakily and shouted at Lin Feng, "Your Shrek Academy is amazing. I apologize to you on behalf of Tsanhui Academy." In the world of Soul Masters, having a big fist was the absolute truth. Being weak was wrong. Lin Feng chuckled. I said there's no need to apologize. Crawl. Xiao Wu and the others also echoed. Crawl. Under this chorus of shouts, Yi Zhiqiu led everyone from Tsanhui Academy and quickly left. All right, let's continue eating. After eating, we'll find a hotel to stay in. Tomorrow, we'll continue our journey and try to reach the forest before 10 in the morning. This matter was considered to be over. Lin Feng quickly brought everyone back to the hotel. Not far away, Zhao Wuji saw this scene and secretly clicked his tongue. This Feng brat is really powerful. He can even defeat a Soul King. Although this Soul King was trash, he was still a Soul King. He was defeated with a single punch. What monster! Originally, I wanted to come out to calm the situation or something. Now that Lin Feng was able to settle the matter, it continued to follow in secret. But then again, Lin Feng's soul power also had the effect of lightning. Could it be that his second soul ring hunted a lightning-type soul beast? This was most likely the case. But did his third soul ring also need to hunt a 10,000-year soul beast? How would he kill it? Just thinking about it made Zhao Wuji feel very expectant. The next morning, Under Lin Feng's request, everyone carried their supplies and continued to rush towards the Star-Do Great Forest. Perhaps because they were about to reach the forest, the group hastened their speed. At around 9 in the morning, the group stepped into the Star-Do Great Forest. As the border between two great empires, the Star-Do Great Forest was extremely dangerous. The moment everyone stepped into the Star-Do Great Forest, they all felt that this forest was not ordinary. The air was sweeter, and the rich energy of heaven and earth was far from what the city could compare to. Cultivating in the forest was much more efficient than cultivating in the city. As far as the eye could see, there were 20 to 30 meter tall trees forming a green sea. From afar, it made people feel relaxed and happy. When they got closer, they found that the shadows of the trees overlapped, making it difficult to see what was inside. Everyone could see quite a few soul beasts leaping about in the forest when they looked inside. There was no path in the forest. If they wanted to go in, they would have to open a path themselves. Everyone, stand in formation. Lin Feng gave the order, and everyone stood in formation at once. At this moment, Lin Feng continued, although we're going to the outskirts of the Star-Do Great Forest, it's still extremely dangerous. We can face the threat of 1,000-year or even 10,000-year soul beasts at any time. Don't think that we don't have to be afraid just because Teacher Zhao is behind us. Sometimes, if we meet a strong soul beast, Teacher Zhao won't be able to save you in time. You'll die in their hands first. So when we go in later, everyone has to listen to instructions. Also, don't take the initiative to attack the soul beasts. If you encounter any danger, run towards me first, especially Zhu Zhuqing, who's scouting the surroundings. If you discover any danger, run to your teammates immediately. Do you all hear me? Yes. Everyone replied in unison. That's good. Let's go. With Lin Feng's current perception, nothing within a 300-meter radius could escape his ears. He said this mainly to scare them. Of course, if there was a good opportunity, Lin Feng would deliberately release some soul beasts with suitable strength to test them. Right, there was also Zhao Wuji. Ever since they came to the Star-Do Great Forest, he didn't hide anymore. Instead, he followed behind everyone for about 50 meters. Now that everyone had entered the forest, he was even closer to them. Chapter 91. Just as everyone entered the Star-Do Great Forest, Dusty Heart was standing in the air on the Shrek Academy's field. Flanders, come out. A cold snort spread throughout the entire academy, but no one outside the academy could hear it. Flanders was cultivating in his room. When he heard the sound, he immediately flew out of the window and looked at the old man in the sky. His expression changed slightly as he respectfully said, "Your Highness Dusty Heart, you actually graced us with your presence. I wonder what advice you have for us." "Cut the crap," Dusty Heart said in a deep voice. "Where's that kid called Lin Feng? Even I can't bear to scold Rong Rong in the sect, but this kid actually scolded her until she cried. He's really overturned the heavens. Call that kid out. I want to see where that guy's confidence comes from." "Lin Feng isn't in the academy right now," Flanders said. "Don't worry, I won't take his life." Dusty Heart sensed that the academy's students weren't there. He thought that Flanders knew that he was coming to find trouble, so he hid in advance. Flanders coughed a few times and said, "Your Highness, he really isn't here. The day before yesterday, 4 students from our academy reached rank 30 at the same time. Yesterday, Zhao Wuji brought them to the Star-Do Great Forest to hunt soul beasts. 4 people reached rank 30 at the same time. That kid called Lin Feng is also one of them." Dusty Heart was slightly surprised. Shrek Academy was the place where Ning Rongrong would study in the future. Dusty Heart knew a thing or two about this place. He knew that this academy only accepted 12-year-old students, and there were very few of them. The 4 people who broke through rank 30 the day before yesterday were definitely not all old students. As for the new students, they were all 12-year-old soul elders. Their talent was still very terrifying. They could be considered super geniuses in the entire continent. If this little rascal called Lin Feng was one of them, then he would have a whole new level of respect for him. Yes, Flanders continued, 4 people. One of them is an old student of the academy, and the other three are new students. Furthermore, the three new students who broke through to level 30 are siblings. They came from the same place, and the other two call Linfeng Big Brother. Oh, suddenly, Dusty Heart was very curious about this Linfeng kid. 3 12-year-old soul exalts. If such geniuses could be pulled into the Seven Treasures Glaze School, their future prospects would be limitless. With that thought in mind, Dusty Heart said indifferently, "They're all in the Star Doe Great Forest, right? Then I'll go look for them myself." After saying that, Dusty Heart didn't care about Flanders anymore. Riding his sword, he soared into the sky and flew in the direction of the Star Doe Great Forest. In the same place, Flanders smiled and muttered, "Linfeng, oh Linfeng, your second soul ring is a 10,000-year soul ring. His Highness Clear Sky's son still calls you Big Brother. You have a lot of secrets on you." Linfeng was too mysterious. Flanders felt that he couldn't see through him when they were in the academy. When they were in the soul dueling arena, he knew that Linfeng didn't use his full strength at all. But due to his relationship with Tang San, he didn't dare to test Linfeng openly. So this time, he deliberately let Dusty Heart hear it, hoping that he could help test him. Stardow Great Forest. The number and types of soul bees here were far from what the soul hunting forest could compare to. After walking for a few hundred meters, they would encounter more than a dozen types of soul beasts. Some lived in groups, some walked alone, some are plants, and some are animals. It was simply dazzling. Linfeng was also speechless. When he came to the Stardow Great Forest before, he was very purposeful and moved very quickly. He didn't see much along the way. This kind of slow way of moving forward was quite interesting. He could discover many things that he couldn't usually find. But speaking of which, Linfeng hadn't seen Xiao Ying for a long time. The last time he saw it, it had already been more than 5,000 years of cultivation. Now that nearly half a year had passed, it shouldn't be difficult to reach 7,000 years of cultivation in the Stardow Great Forest with a density of heaven and earth energy. After all, this guy had been mutated by Linfeng. Its strength increased extremely quickly and couldn't be measured by common sense. Okay, there's an empty space in front. Let's rest there. After walking for more than an hour in the forest, it was already noon. Everyone's minds were tense and needed to rest for a while. The outer area of the Stardow Great Forest was very large. If they were to be divided into 3 equal parts, they would be in the first rank. They were currently in the first class area, which was basically a paradise for 10-year and 100-year soul beasts. The second rank had 1,000-year soul beasts, while the third rank had 10,000-year soul beasts. The place they were going to was between the second and third rank. Only there could they frequently see 1,000-year soul beasts. Otherwise, how long would it take for the 4 of them to find a soul ring? Of course, this was only on the surface. Linfeng and the other 2 didn't need to hunt for soul rings at all. When they reached the place later, Linfeng was prepared to find an opportunity to accidentally obtain a soul ring. The group was exhausted. When they heard Linfeng's words, they immediately sat down in the empty space to rest, eat, and drink water. Xiao was no longer as lively as before. She looked sickly as she leaned on Tang San's shoulder. "Xiao Wu, are you okay?" Linfeng came over and asked with concern. Actually, he knew that Xiao Wu should be worried that Daming and Erming would come and find her. After all, the 3 of them had lived together for so many years and had formed an indescribable connection with each other. It was fine when they were in the city, but now that they were in the forest, they should be able to sense it. "Fengge, I'm fine. I'm just a little tired from walking." Xiao Wu forced a smile. Hearing this, Linfeng wanted to laugh. Xiao Wu's brain was in a mess. She could even think of such a lame excuse. They were tired because they weren't strong enough. They were only soul grandmasters. What was Xiao Wu's strength? Tang San didn't even pant. "You're telling me you're tired from walking?" However, Linfeng didn't expose anything. He only patted Xiao Wu's shoulder. "If there's anything, tell me immediately." After saying that, he glanced at Zhao Wuji. Linfeng also sat down and took out something to eat from his bracelet. Suddenly, Linfeng raised his eyebrows. He sensed a soul beast coming from the east. It should be another one that didn't have eyes. They had already killed many soul beasts that foolishly charged towards them. After thinking for a while, he said indifferently, "Zhu Zhuqing, go to the east and take a look. What kind of soul beast is there?" These words made everyone vigilant. Along the way, Lin Feng had displayed outstanding leadership skills and strong perception. Just now, on the way, Zhu Zhuqing didn't even notice many times before Lin Feng called Tang San and Xiao Wu to chase away the soul beasts. Especially the rabbit-type soul beasts. Lin Feng called Xiao Wu to chase them away every time. Under such circumstances, everyone trusted Lin Feng's words 100%. Chapter 92. After hearing Lin Feng's words, Zhu Zhuqing immediately leaped to a high vantage point and looked toward the east. Soon she said, "It's a flying snake, but it doesn't fly high. It has a fleshy crest on its head that's even bigger than its head. Its tail is very strange. It's shaped like a fan." Lin Feng glanced at Oscar. "It's a phoenix tail coxcomb snake, a rare soul beast. Oscar, your luck is not bad. As long as this snake is a 1,000-year soul beast, your third soul ring will be secured." The latter was unable to contain his joy. He was about to advance to Soul Elder. He was very excited. Ignoring Oscar, Lin Feng continued asking, "Zhu Zhuqing, roughly how long is this snake, and what color are its wings?" Zhu Zhuqing said, "Its wings are light red, about 7 meters long." Hearing this, Lin Feng glanced sideways at Tang San. "Xiao San, translate for everyone what a surprise is." Tang San rolled his eyes, ridiculing in his heart. Fengge clearly knew all this, but he was too lazy to say it, using him as a tool to make him speak. But he still carefully explained, "This is a 1,000-year phoenix tail coxcomb snake, because its light red wings are a sign that it has evolved for 1,000 years. And with a length of 7 meters, it should be a 1,500-year soul beast. And for a soul beast of this age, it's very perfect for a rank 30 soul master. Moreover, this phoenix tail coxcomb snake is not poisonous, and its attack method is very simple. It likes to use its body to wrap around the enemy. But its speed is very fast. Its fleshy crest stores energy, and if it encounters danger, it will use this energy to increase its speed and escape. If you obtain this snake's soul ring, Oscar, your next soul skill is very likely to be related to speed. This is the most suitable for you at present." Oscar's small eyes immediately lit up. "Xiao San, you're really the martial spirit world's encyclopedia. Not much different from Fengge. Really amazing. You flatter me. Fengge is much more amazing than me." In front of Lin Feng, Tang San was always modest. After this period of time together, fighting together and so on, everyone had become much closer, and they also knew some details about each other. Lin Feng's heaven-shaking ability to recognize the opponent's soul skill just by looking at their martial spirit was temporarily put aside. Tang San's martial spirit encyclopedia's knowledge left others in the dust. At this moment, Lin Feng and Tang San were the only two people in the team with wisdom. A 1,000-year soul beast. A 1,000-year soul beast was extremely powerful. A group of soul grandmasters and a soul's lives would be in danger. A moment of carelessness could be fatal. Therefore, he had to get closer, or else he wouldn't be able to save them in time. A 1,000-year soul beast, if all of you go together, there's still a chance to kill it. I'll support you guys. If it was before, Zhao Wuji might have directly taken action. After all, a 1,000-year soul beast was not something a soul elder could handle. However, he saw the scene in the small town earlier and knew that Lin Feng was very strong. Dealing with a 1,000-year soul beast shouldn't be a problem, so he only supported them. Hearing this, Lin Feng chuckled. "Teacher Zhao, now is not the time to train. Oscar is so anxious that he's crying. Our top priority is to quickly control the soul beast. After all, in this Stardew Great Forest, there are dangers everywhere. Who knows, maybe fighting for a while will attract other soul beasts." Zhao Wuji stared blankly for a moment, then smiled awkwardly. "You're right, kid. I'll help Oscar catch that snake now." Hearing this, Oscar was so happy that he went silly, and he kept smiling foolishly. However, Lin Feng immediately stopped Zhao Wuji. Teacher Zhao, please wait. This action clearly caused everyone to be puzzled. Teacher Zhao was about to take action, so why did Lin Feng suddenly stop him? However, Lin Feng quickly gave an explanation. Teacher Zhao is strong as a rank 76 soul sage, but speed is your biggest shortcoming. This phoenix-tailed coxcomb snake is extremely fast. If it accidentally escapes, Oscar won't even have a place to cry. It wasn't that Lin Feng looked down on Zhao Wuji, but his speed was indeed too slow. How slow was he? He estimated that when Zhu Zhuqing became a soul elder, his speed would be faster than his for a short period of time. On my side, I have a more reliable method that can definitely catch this snake. What method? Everyone was curious, and even Zhao Wuji was no exception. However, at this moment, Zhu Zhuqing shouted, "It's coming!" As his voice fell, Zhu Zhuqing didn't think too much about it. He completely ignored the difference in speed between the two of them and directly pounced down. Clearly, he wanted to restrain this snake. At this moment, everyone also saw the appearance of the phoenix-tailed coxcomb snake. This snake was exactly as Zhu Zhuqing had described. It was about 7 meters long and looked about the same size as the anacondas in his previous life. Coupled with a strange crest on its head, it looked extremely ugly and sinister. Zhu Zhuqing swooped down from the sky at an extremely fast speed and directly used the netherworld rush on the phoenix-tailed coxcomb snake's crest. However, this snake's reaction was extremely fast. It tilted its head slightly and easily dodged this attack. In the end, Zhu Zhuqing's netherworld rush only hit the phoenix-tailed coxcomb snake's body. It made a muffled sound, but it actually stopped its forward momentum. The phoenix-tailed coxcomb snake was frightened. It tilted its head, opened its mouth, and spat out a 7-colored fog at Zhu Zhuqing. This fog wasn't poisonous, but it was soul-stirring. Zhu Zhuqing actually stood in place, unable to move. The phoenix-tailed coxcomb snake leisurely swung its tail, smashing it directly at Zhu Zhuqing. Its momentum was swift and ferocious. If this hit, she would at least be seriously injured. Careful! In the distance, Dai Mubai, Zhao Wuji, and the others all shouted and rushed towards Zhu Zhuqing. However, there was one person who was faster than everyone. That was Lin Feng. In almost an instant, Lin Feng passed by Zhao Wuji and smashed a fist at the snake's head. Everyone only felt a sudden gust of wind pass by them. When they looked back, Lin Feng, who was as fast as lightning, had already arrived beside Zhu Zhuqing. This speed was so fast that even Ning Rongrong didn't have time to react and speed up Lin Feng. In the next second, Lin Feng's fist collided with the snake's head. The violent power of lightning was transmitted through his fingertips, and in almost the blink of an eye, the phoenix-tailed coxcomb snake was paralyzed. After that, a bang was heard. The snake's head was directly smashed to the ground, and under the paralysis of the lightning, the snake's body kept swaying. Using this opportunity, Zhu Zhuqing also quickly retreated. After waiting for a safe distance, she looked at the phoenix-tailed coxcomb snake with some lingering fear. That was a 1,000-year soul beast. She really didn't know where she got the courage to attack just now. However, looking at Lin Feng's back, which wasn't too thick, gave people a strong sense of security. At this moment, Lin Feng stepped on the snake, then turned around and smiled at everyone. The method is very simple. Let me attack and kill it in one punch before you can react. Everyone was speechless. Chapter 93. Everyone's shocked and worshipful expressions were exactly the same as when Lin Feng was studying in Nodding City. When he gave people gold coins, their expressions were exactly the same. Outstanding people would become the center of attention no matter where they went. Sigh. This charm that had nowhere to go was really damnable. Suddenly, Lin Feng raised his head to look at where the snake came from. Then, he said to Oscar with interest, "Oscar, don't be in a daze. Come and kill this soul beast. Otherwise, we won't be able to get it later. The soul beast is right here. No one is going to snatch it. We won't lose it," Ning Rongrong said casually. In her opinion, Lin Feng and the soul sage Zhao Wuji were at the periphery of the Star Do Great Forest. She didn't have to worry about anything. However, Oscar didn't care about her. He ran over to Lin Feng and said with admiration, Lin Feng. Oh no, you have to be called Fengge. You're Fengge from now on. You're too strong. As he spoke, he excitedly took out a dagger from his bosom. To the side, Lin Feng was still instructing him, stab it from the crown. You can kill it in one hit. Okay, Fengge. Oscar grabbed the dagger and was about to stab it down. At this moment, a hoarse and cold voice came from behind everyone. Stop! Everyone immediately turned around and saw two figures quickly scurrying out from the bushes in front of them. One of them was old and the other was young. Both of them were female. The old one looked to be in her 60s or 70s. Although her hair was white, she was very energetic and her face was rosy. She held a 3-meter-long, snake-headed walking stick in her hand. The 6 soul rings on her body were constantly pulsating and emitting a powerful aura. It was obvious that the snake-headed walking stick was her martial soul. Beside her was a beautiful young girl with short hair that reached her ears. She was around 16 years old and wore tight clothes that tightly wrapped around her well-developed figure. It was very pleasing to the eye. She had a pair of large, dark brown eyes. At this moment, her gaze was tightly locked onto the phoenix tail, coxcomb snake. She also had a snake-headed walking stick in her hand, but it was only about 2 meters long, much smaller than the old woman's. 2 yellow 100-year soul rings lit up on her body. This pair of old and young attracted everyone's attention as soon as they appeared, especially their 6 soul rings, which made Zhao Wuji frown slightly. Lin Feng just looked at the two of them indifferently. Apart from the young girl's face that made his eyes light up, he didn't feel anything special. These two people should be Dream Iran and Snake Granny Chao Tianxiang. Speaking of which, these two women gave Lin Feng a strange sense of familiarity. The Golden Flower Popo and Zhu in the Heaven-Soaring Dragon Saber looked very similar to them. Both of them were peerless experts, and there was also a little beauty beside them. What do you want? Zhao Wuji immediately revealed his 7 soul rings and glanced at the two of them with a vigilant look on his face. This was a rank 60 soul emperor. He didn't think that Lin Feng could deal with her, so he had to take action. Seeing Zhao Wuji's 7 soul rings, the originally arrogant Snake Granny's expression changed. She coughed and was about to open her mouth, but Lin Feng spoke first. You want to say that this phoenix-tail coxcomb snake was hunted by you guys first, right? These words stunned Zhao Wuji and the others, and they didn't understand what he meant. Seeing this, Lin Feng lightly kicked the snake in front of Oscar, and Lin Feng flipped it over. At this moment, everyone saw that there were 2 fresh wounds in the middle of the snake's stomach. Clearly, they weren't caused by them. Seeing this scene, Snake Granny immediately became spirited. She quickly said, "That's right. We have been hunting this phoenix-tailed coxcomb snake for a long time. That wound was caused by my snake staff. There are also similar wounds on its wings. However, it is very fast, so it managed to escape. Now, my granddaughter just happens to be rank 30 and needs a soul ring to break through. This phoenix-tail coxcomb snake's soul ring is very suitable for my granddaughter. Can I ask this old sage senior to make things easy for her?" After speaking, Snake Granny paused and said, "Right, my name is Chao Tianxiang. I'm indebted to my friends in the world of soul masters for thinking highly of me, and I'm called Snake Granny. My husband is called Meng Shu, and people call him Duke Long. From Snake Granny's point of view, Zhao Wuji would probably give it to her. After all, this group of children were so young, and they should have come to obtain their 2nd soul ring. This 1,000-year soul ring shouldn't be absorbed by anyone." Hearing the name Serpent, Zhao Wuji's expression changed slightly, but he soon laughed loudly and said, "So, it's the unparalleled dragon snake. It's an honor to meet you. I'm Zhao Wuji. I can't give this snake to you. I also have a student who needs this snake as a soul ring to break through to rank 30. Moreover, this snake wasn't defeated by me, but by one of my students. So I'm sorry, I can't give it to you." Saying this, Zhao Wuji pointed at Lin Feng, indicating that this snake was defeated by Lin Feng. Serpent and Snake Granny usually wouldn't be separated too far from each other. Now that Snake Granny was here, Duke Long was definitely nearby. Duke Long's strength was very terrifying. He had been a soul sage for a long time, and now he might even be soul Douluo. He and Snake Granny could even use a powerful martial soul fusion technique together. Only a titled Douluo could break through this. If not for his fear of Duke Long, this little Snake Granny, Zhao Wuji, would have already given her a slap. You still want to thank a friend in the Soul Master world for thinking so highly of you, Ba. Without Duke Long, you are nothing. So, with Zhao Wuji, who has the title of Immovable Wisdom King, wait. You said this snake was defeated by one of your students? Snake Granny was still surprised by Zhao Wuji's identity when she said the first sentence, but the next sentence stunned her. Her eyes swept over Lin Feng, as if she wanted to see how Lin Feng was able to defeat this 1,000-year soul beast. How was this possible? This must be a lie. Meng Yiran glanced at everyone, especially Lin Feng. Finally, she found that no one was older than her. She frowned. This is a 1,500-year soul beast. Your students are so young. How could they defeat it? Also, you have a rank 30 soul master among you. Snake Granny also frowned. Brother Zhao, your words are a little fake. These disciples of yours are only around 13 years old. How can they be so powerful? They can even defeat a 1,000-year soul beast? This old one doesn't believe it. For a normal 13-year-old soul master, reaching rank 20 was already not bad. Rank 30? She was probably dreaming. Probably only those peerless geniuses had such a possibility. Her granddaughter Meng Yiran's talent was already not bad. She was now 15.5 years old, but she had only just reached rank 30. Hearing the two's words, everyone laughed. That laughter was like a group of 6th grade students watching 2 kindergarten students discussing the difficulty of 1 + 1 is equal to 2. Zhao Wuji waved his hand. Children, show your soul rings. Let the two of them see what a genius is. The moment he finished speaking, everyone who could not wait any longer immediately showed their soul rings. Lin Feng felt this was very childish, so he did not join in. But even so, there were a total of over 10 soul rings. Especially Dai Mubai's purple 1,000-year soul ring. Snake Granny and Meng Yiran were stunned. Chapter 94. Among the 8 of them, 4 of them have reached rank 30. He's the one who needs this soul ring. Zhao Wuji pointed at Oscar. Snake Granny, do you believe me now? Snake Granny was still in shock. A 13-year-old soul elder, not just 1, but 4 at once. Where did this group of people come from? They were actually all such geniuses. At this moment, she was so jealous that her body was about to split. Meng Yiran was also shocked. She originally thought that Zhao Wuji was bragging, but this was the truth. However, she still said somewhat unwillingly, Granny, are we just going to give up like this? It had to be said that the fully developed Meng Yiran was still very beautiful. Although she couldn't compare to Zhu Zhuqing and the others, she was still first class. At this moment, she was frowning. Snake Granny came back to her senses and said in a deep voice, Brother Zhao, how about this? Since neither side wants to give up, then let's follow the rules of the Soul Master world. Let the 2 children decide who gets it. 2 people duel. Whoever wins will get this phoenix-tailed coxcomb snake. There was such a rule in the Soul Master world. If both sides took a fancy to this soul beast and contributed during the hunt, then they would fight to determine the victor. Whoever won would get the soul ring. Of course, this was just a saying. Generally, it only applied when both sides were equal in strength and were afraid of each other, so they could only use this method. Otherwise, if one side could crush the other, they wouldn't do such a fancy thing. I'm stronger than you, so why should I give in? Not convinced. I'll beat you until you're convinced. If you're still not convinced, then I'll just kill you and be done with it. That's right. The Soul Master world was such a place where the strong preyed on the weak. Snake Granny had no choice but to make this suggestion. At the same time, she was still confident in Meng Yiran's strength. Otherwise, she would have turned around and left. This method is good. Zhao Wuji laughed. But it's a pity that my disciple is a food-type soul master and can't fight. Snake Granny was stunned. A food-type soul master? Around 13 years old and a rank 30 soul elder? This kind of aptitude could only be described as terrifying. For a moment, she even thought of ways to win over Oscar. At this moment, Tang San spoke up. How about this? I'll fight you in place of Oscar. I'm also a rank 30 Tool Soul Master, so I'm just right for you. After that, Tang San glanced at Oscar. Don't worry. Although I'm not as good as Feng Gu, I still have some confidence. Tang San was a Grand Soul Elder. Even if he suppressed his strength, dealing with a rank 30 Soul Grandmaster was still a piece of cake. That's fine too. They're both level 30. That's fair. Snake Granny nodded. However, right at this moment, Meng Yiran said in a crisp voice, No, I won't fight you. Just as everyone was puzzled, they saw Meng Yiran pointed at Lin Feng and said, I want to fight with him. Didn't you guys say that he was the one who defeated the 1,000-year soul beast? I don't believe it. He didn't even dare to light up his soul ring just now. So he's definitely not strong. I'll fight with him. If he can beat me, I'll believe you guys. I don't want this snake anymore. At this moment, Meng Yiran's expression was as proud as it could be, as if she had already seen Lin Feng. Hearing this, everyone was stunned. Then, they looked at her with a strange expression. Tang San even tried to persuade him. Do you want to reconsider? He's very strong. If you choose me, your chances of winning should be higher. Ha! As expected, I was right. That guy is definitely very weak. I'll choose him. Tang San's reaction made Meng Yiran even more certain of her conjecture. What student defeating a 1,000-year soul beast? It was definitely a lie. She had a proud look on her face as she praised her discerning eyes. Lin Feng held his forehead with one hand and was speechless. When Meng Yiran's expression appeared, Lin Feng knew that this girl was hopeless. Remember that time in front of the small town in the soul hunting forest, that soul great master called Zhang Xiao? At that time, he had the same expression. Lin Feng felt that guy was a fool. What happened in the end? Didn't he still have to pay him 50 gold coins? At this moment, Meng Yiran and Zhang Xiao had the same expression. That was a big fool. This was a second fool. Are you sure you want to choose me? Lin Feng said indifferently. If you choose me, you won't have a chance. To be honest, Lin Feng really did not have any thoughts of making a move. This Meng Yiran was too weak, so weak that he could kill her with one slap. Don't worry, little brother, I'll be gentle. I won't hurt you. Meng Yiran thought that Lin Feng was afraid. Lin Feng sighed. All right, the earlier we end the battle, the earlier you guys can pack up and leave. Hearing this, Zhao Wuji said in a low voice, Little Feng, be careful. Don't kill her. That Duke Long should be nearby. We can't afford to offend him. Although these words were said in a low voice, Snake Granny was a soul emperor after all, so she naturally heard it clearly. She could not help but look at Lin Feng doubtfully. She thought to herself, other than seeing that this soul beast was injured, this brat has been silent the whole time. Could it be that this brat is the strongest among Zhao Wuji's students? But soon, Snake Granny shook her head. She guessed correctly. This was only Zhao Wuji's scheme. That brat looked to be 15 years old. No matter how strong he was only a soul venerable. And it was almost impossible for a soul venerable to deal with 1,000 or 500-year soul beast. Thus, this brat should be just for show. In reality, he might not even be a soul great master. After all, he did not even dare to show his soul rings. Guesses were just guesses. Soon, Lin Feng stood in front of Meng Yiran. Everyone's gaze landed on the two of them, especially Oscar. Although he knew that it was impossible for Lin Feng to lose, this matter concerned his third soul ring. At this moment, he was still incomparably nervous. At this moment, Meng Yiran had a triumphant smile on her face. My name is Meng Yiran. My martial soul is the snake staff. I am a rank 30 battle soul grandmaster. Please advise me. Lin Feng was somewhat listless. He casually said, Lin Feng, martial soul, immeasurable flower. Rank 30 auxiliary type, soul grandmaster. Support type? He's actually also rank 30. Meng Yiran clearly did not expect these 2 points. She was somewhat surprised. Snake Granny's eyes also lit up at the side. Oscar was a rank 30 food type soul master, and here was a rank 30 auxiliary type soul master. If they were both recruited, just as she was thinking, Lin Feng already said, I'm going to start. Bring it on. I'll let you attack first. Meng Yiran was very leisurely. Hee hee. With a faint laugh, Lin Feng's two soul rings, one yellow and one black, instantly appeared. In a split second, Snake Granny was stunned. Meng Yiran was almost stupefied. 10,000-year soul ring. How is this possible? She muttered, her face full of disbelief. A rank 10,000-year soul ring. This meant that Lin Feng had absorbed it when he became a soul grandmaster. This was really too inconceivable. Hey, I'm going to start attacking. Lin Feng's shout made Meng Yiran come back to her senses. Oomph. So what if you have a 10,000-year soul ring? You're just an auxiliary-type soul master. Watch how I defeat you. Lin Feng's identity as an auxiliary-type soul master allowed Meng Yiran to recover some of her confidence. However, her words caused Dai Mubai's expression to become slightly strange. Meng Yiran's current thoughts were exactly the same as when he had faced Tang San in the hotel. If she really treated him as an auxiliary-type soul master, then she would be in trouble. Moreover, Lin Feng was even more ruthless than Tang San. He was an auxiliary-type soul master who killed all his enemies and made his teammates invincible. 3 seconds of silence for Meng Yiran in advance. Come, I'm not afraid of you. Meng Yiran also revealed her 200-year soul rings. At this moment, Lin Feng moved. His entire person turned into an afterimage, his speed so fast that it was as if he had disappeared from his original spot. Swish! When he appeared again, his right fist was only a few centimeters away from Meng Yiran's forehead. This scene seemed to have stopped. In the next moment, the fist force brought about by this fist fiercely spread out from Meng Yiran's ears. Behind him, the fist wind was violent. Everywhere it passed, except for the large trees, all the flowers and plants were twisted into pieces. The ground looked as if it had been plowed, leaving a long trace. The soul beasts were frightened and fled in all directions. There was even a 1,000-year soul beast among them. At this moment, Lin Feng indifferently spat out 3 words. You've lost. The entire audience was silent. Chapter 95. After speaking, Lin Feng indifferently turned around and walked to Oscar's side. He closed his stupefied jaw and said, This snake is yours. Quickly kill it. Meng Yiran stiffly turned her neck and looked at the changed scenery behind her. She was so scared that she fell to the ground. At this moment, the snake woman recovered from her shock. She grabbed Meng Yiran and ran. Brother Zhao is amazing. We'll meet again. Her voice could be heard after they ran far away. It was hard to imagine that a soul sage, Zhao Wuji, and a monstrous youth that completely exceeded the scope of understanding could produce such a powerful punch. Zhao Wuji didn't chase after them. Instead, he turned around and looked at Lin Feng. Oh my God, little guy, this punch of yours is quite something. Such a large area of destruction was at least 20 to 30 meters. He could easily do this as a soul sage, and a soul emperor should be able to do it as well. A soul king would probably need to use a powerful soul skill. But what was Lin Feng's strength? He was only a soul grandmaster, but he could produce a soul king's soul skill with a single punch. Feng Gu, is this your true strength? I admit that I was shocked. Tang Xin said blankly. As for Xiao Wu, although she was shocked, she was more worried as she looked into the depths of the forest. She could sense that Daming and Erming seemed to have discovered her. Daming was fine, but with Erming's temperament, it was very likely that he would come looking for her. This wasn't something she wanted to see. I'm not that strong. I'm just a little bit stronger than you guys. If you guys work hard, you'll be able to catch up to me. Lin Feng touched his head and said modestly, Okay. I'm not the main character now. Oscar, hurry up and kill the soul beast and absorb its soul ring. Hearing this, Oscar recalled the matter of the soul ring. The scene just now was too shocking. Lin Feng's punch was truly invincible. Oh, a soul ring. Shouting, Oscar grabbed the dagger and stabbed at the snake's crown. Chi-chi. With a muffled sound, the phoenix tail coxcomb snake, which had been electrocuted by the lightning, died. Not long after, his soul ring floated out. Zhao Wuji shouted, "Everyone, spread out and observe the surroundings. Protect Xiao Ao." Oscar was very touched. He didn't delay and immediately absorbed the soul ring. At this time, Lin Feng glanced at Xiao Wu and found that she was uneasy. He immediately came to her side and patted her shoulder. "What are you thinking about? You look distracted." To be honest, Lin Feng had come to chat with Xiao Wu because he wanted to see how Xiao Wu would lie to him. This feeling was very interesting. He still remembered when they were in Nodding City, Xiao Wu made an excuse that she had something to do at home. When she came back, she had a third soul ring. At that time, Lin Feng had been following behind her and saw with his own eyes how she made a 1,000-year soul ring appear out of thin air. When she returned to school, Lin Feng asked her several times how she got this soul ring. It was very interesting to see her racking her brains to lie, especially once her lie was exposed. What she said was different from the last time, which made Lin Feng laugh. Fortunately, she managed to cover it up in the end. "No, nothing." Xiao Wu didn't expect Lin Feng to suddenly appear and was startled. But soon she said, "It's your punch just now. It really surprised me. Fengge, you're really strong." "I'm also very strong," Tang San quickly said. "If it was me just now, I could also end the battle quickly." Lin Feng was slightly speechless. Xiao San's damn jealousy. After being disturbed by Tang San, Lin Feng was no longer in the mood to tease Xiao Wu. He said warmly, "Xiao Wu, if there's anything, just tell us. You, Fengge, will definitely side with you. Even if the sky collapses, Xiao San will be the first to be crushed to death. Don't be afraid." Tang San was inexplicably implicated. "I will." Xiao Wu's heart warmed. At this time, Lin Feng whispered, "Okay, when Oscar finishes absorbing the soul ring, we'll continue moving forward. I'll lure a stronger soul beast over and delay Teacher Zhao. When the time comes, the three of us will leave the main group and come back later. We'll say that we've finished killing the 3 soul beasts." And the two of them nodded. This was something they had planned long ago. Just like that, after about 7 or 8 minutes, Oscar finally finished absorbing the 1,000-year soul ring. After letting out a long breath, Oscar slowly opened his eyes. Subconsciously, 2 yellow and 1 purple soul rings appeared under his feet. A rank 31 soul elder, food-type soul master, Oscar, was born. "Congratulations, Lil Ao." A group of people gathered around to celebrate Oscar. "Quickly show us what your 3rd soul skill is like." Dai Mubai eagerly wanted to know the soul incantation of Oscar's 3rd soul skill. Oscar was originally very excited, but when he heard this, his face was slightly embarrassed. However, he quickly said, "I'll say it first. When I chant the soul incantation, you're not allowed to laugh." "Don't laugh, don't laugh. We definitely won't laugh. Hurry up," Ma Hongjun urged. The others also nodded, indicating that they wouldn't laugh, but a faint smile appeared on their faces at the same time. "Cough, cough, and I'll say it." Oscar slowly raised his right hand and chanted his 3rd soul incantation. "I have a mushroom sausage." Puffed. Hearing this, Ma Hongjun, who had firmly expressed that he wouldn't laugh, laughed the loudest. He squatted on the ground laughing so hard that his stomach hurt. The others also couldn't stop laughing. Even Lin Feng was infected by the laughter and laughed along. Oscar had a helpless look on his face. Didn't we agree not to laugh? When he said this, everyone laughed even harder. After a while, Zhao Wuji said, "Xiao Ao, what's the use of your sausage?" As soon as he said this, Oscar immediately became spirited and snorted, "You guys can laugh. In the future, no one can eat my sausage except for Fengge." Hearing this, everyone immediately became curious. What was Oscar's 3rd soul skill? They didn't continue to keep them in suspense. Oscar was afraid of being beaten, so he immediately raised the sausage and said proudly, "Listen up. My 3rd soul skill, mushroom sausage, has the effect of flying." In an instant, everyone's laughter came to an abrupt end. Flying. For any soul master, it was an incredible ability. Furthermore, auxiliary-type soul masters who could allow others to fly were all strategically important. They were even more important than Soul Douluo. Generally, this kind of soul skill that could allow one to fly would appear at the 6th soul ring and above. Oscar, on the other hand, already had his 3rd soul skill. This was truly astonishing. At this moment, Oscar's voice continued. The duration of flying is 1 minute. Damn, you're taking a breather when you speak. You're really itching for a beating. In an instant, the crowd was furious. Chapter 96. Although Oscar's panting while speaking was very annoying, a soul skill that allowed one to fly was still very powerful. Even if it was only for a minute, it could still be very useful sometimes. Seeing that everyone was enthusiastically discussing the use of a minute of flight, Oscar laughed. This mushroom sausage of mine doesn't just fly for a minute. It has the speed of a phoenix tail coxcomb snake. What? It has the speed of a phoenix tail coxcomb snake. Everyone was shocked again. If that was really the case, then this soul skill's use would be very powerful. Zhao Wuji chuckled. Not bad. With this soul skill, your sausage can be classified as one of the best among food-type martial souls. Following that, he continued to ask, Xiao Ao, with your current soul power, how many sausages can you create at once? After sensing for a moment, Oscar replied, should be able to create 10. That's very good. In the future, when your soul power rank is higher, you can create even more mushroom sausages. Zhao Wuji sighed. Following that, he looked at Lin Feng and the other two. Oscar was already so monstrous. What about the 3 people who were even more monstrous than Oscar? These were 3 12-year-old soul elders. Before this, Zhao Wuji had never seen such geniuses, especially Lin Feng, who could defeat a soul king with a single punch. It was really unimaginable. Your luck is pretty good. You just entered the forest, and you've already helped Oscar obtain a soul ring. Everyone, rest well. We'll continue later and strive to help 2 people obtain soul rings today. In any case, Zhao Wuji was a teacher, so he quickly calmed down. I came over just now because of an unexpected situation. Now that the situation has been resolved, I'll go back. You guys continue. After saying that, Zhao Wuji continued to retreat behind everyone, maintaining a distance of 20 to 30 meters. Seeing this, Lin Feng smiled. Continue to rest. We'll set off in 10 minutes. Although it was supposed to be a 10-minute break, in fact, only half of them were resting. For example, Dai Mu Bai, Ma Hongjun, and even Tang San, the 3 of them all gathered around Oscar, wanting to experience the feeling of flying. After all, they were flying. They had never experienced it before. If it weren't for Ning Rongrong and the others, they would have already surrounded them. Lin Feng didn't say anything in response. Instead, he scanned his surroundings and thought about how to lure a suitable soul beast over. In fact, he still had a plan B. If it wasn't suitable to lure a soul beast, he would directly tell Zhao Wuji that he would bring Tang San and Xiao Wu to the depths of the forest to hunt soul beasts. However, that would destroy the sense of teamwork. Lin Feng was fine with it, but for Tang San and Xiao Wu, it would still affect them mentally. Therefore, it was best to lure the soul beast over. Wow, I'm flying. At this time, Dai Mubai still had some power left. He was the first one to eat the mushroom sausage from Oscar's side and flew up. The others looked envious. Even Zhao Wuji, who was not far away, glanced over from time to time. He seemed to be very tempted. Suddenly, Lin Feng's eyes lit up. He found an orange tree not far away. The fruits on it were huge and looked very tempting. You guys stay here and don't walk around. I'll go and pick a few oranges for you guys. In his previous life, Lin Feng liked to eat oranges. They were sweet and delicious. The oranges in Douluo's world seemed to be sweeter. He used to eat them when he was in Nodding City. Now that he could see oranges in the Stardow Great Forest, of course, he wanted to try them. After telling everyone, Lin Feng quickly ran in the direction of the orange tree. That place was some distance away from where everyone was resting, so Lin Feng didn't see it at first. Now that he noticed it, he came to the fruit tree in a few steps. There was a 100-year snake on the tree. After it noticed Lin Feng, it stuck out its tongue and looked like it was about to attack. Lin Feng's expression didn't change. He directly grabbed the snake's head, then tied it and the snake's tail into a bow. He threw it with force and hung it on the branch of a big tree. Oh, he hung it on the southeast branch. After complaining in his heart, Lin Feng didn't waste any time. He immediately picked more than 10 oranges and rushed back. The orange was half green and half yellow. It looked like it wasn't ripe yet, but it should be edible. After returning to everyone, Lin Feng immediately peeled it and ate a piece. It's so sour. With a face full of smiles, Lin Feng waved at Tang San. Xiao San, eat. It's so sweet. The latter ran over with a happy face. Thank you, Feng Ge. He grabbed the orange and ate it. When he ate it, the sour taste in his mouth almost made him spit it out. He looked at Lin Feng with a bitter face. Lin Feng was full of smiles. Xiao San, I told you it was delicious. It's delicious. Without saying much, Tang San turned around and handed the orange to Dai Mubai. Dai Mubai ate a piece and waved at Ma Hongjun without batting an eyelid, passing the orange to him. Ma Hongjun didn't think much of it and took a bite as well. Then, he handed the orange to Oscar with a happy face. It's so delicious that I can't speak. Oscar took the orange in confusion and took a bite. In the next second, Oscar's face scrunched up. It was so sour that he shuddered. He spat out the orange and turned to look at Ma Hongjun fiercely. I just let you fly, and this is how you repay me. I'll strangle you to death. For a moment, everyone laughed out loud. After fooling around for a while, the group of people who had rested enough continued to walk into the forest. Actually, according to Zhao Wuji's idea, everyone could just search for thousand-year-soul beasts in the periphery of the forest. It would be much safer, but it would take some time. However, Lin Feng needed to hunt a 10,000-year-soul beast, so they could only walk in. That's right, on the way here, Lin Feng clearly said that his third soul ring was to hunt a 10,000-year-soul beast, and that he could do it alone. Zhao Wuji thought that if Lin Feng wanted to kill him, he could just watch from the side. However, after Lin Feng unleashed that super punch, he realized that perhaps he didn't even need to watch from the side. Lin Feng could really kill a 10,000-year-soul beast safely. Therefore, he didn't say anything as everyone walked into the forest. As long as they didn't enter the middle section of the forest and only wandered around the periphery, he was confident that he could protect everyone from death as a soul sage. Just like that, the group of people walked and stopped as they walked into the forest. Along the way, they encountered many thousand-year-soul beasts, but none of them were suitable. As for the soul beasts that they encountered, unless they were stubborn and courting death, they wouldn't kill them if they didn't have to. Very soon, the sky gradually darkened. After finding a small open space with a wide view, the group of people prepared food and set up tents. Tonight, they would be camping here. They were about to enter the third-class area of the periphery. When dawn came tomorrow, they would walk a little further in, and Lin Feng's plan could begin. Chapter 97. After dinner, the group gathered together to chat. Zhao Wuji also ran over to teach them some things to pay attention to in the forest. At the same time, they discussed their gains and losses in the Soul Beast Forest today. As they talked, the sky turned completely dark. At this time, Lin Feng stood up and silently sat closer to the depths of the forest. If there was any danger, he would be the first to react. Not long after, a few people's discussion piqued Lin Feng's interest. The current Soul Beast Forest can't be compared to the past. I still remember when I came here at rank 40. The outer regions were filled with thousand-year soul beasts. Now, there aren't many left. Zhao Wuji sighed slightly. I don't know if the soul beasts have all run into the forest or if there's some other reason. At this time, Lin Feng laughed. It's all caused by us soul masters. Although the soul beasts are fierce, most of them have traces. Have you seen any soul beasts attacking our cities or villages? Probably not. Maybe we've heard of it, but there weren't many casualties. What about us soul masters? Every forest is filled with human footprints. In terms of cruelty, us soul masters are still better. Lin Feng continued. Actually, we all know that even though there aren't many soul cultivators, every soul cultivator has to kill several soul beasts. The stronger ones have to kill even more soul beasts, and the older the soul beasts they kill, The growth rate of soul beasts definitely can't be compared to the growth rate of us soul masters. In the end, the 1,000-year soul beasts might even become scarce. Lin Feng could be considered to be speaking from his thoughts. In his previous life, the issue of environmental protection and the hunting of rare animals had always been a big concern for people. Some people on the internet said that there would always be irreconcilable conflicts between nature and humans. Although it was said that way, in the end, it was just a kind of greed and desire of humans. Most of the problems in his previous life couldn't be avoided because of money. Why did they hunt rare animals? Why did they destroy the environment? It was nothing more than to earn money. The huge profits drove people. Douluo hunted soul beasts for soul rings on the continent. It was also a profit, but the profit in this world was great power. Was there any way to reconcile this relationship? In fact, the Martial Soul Hall had always been dedicated to protecting soul beasts. The soul hunting forest was one of their experiments, and the patrols in the soul hunting forest were guarding against people who killed soul beasts indiscriminately. Unfortunately, these measures were useless. The soul beasts were still being slaughtered. For example, Lin Feng had led people to hunt soul beasts in the soul hunting forest. In fact, it wasn't that bad. They usually hunted with a goal in mind, and they deliberately controlled their hunting. They couldn't kill many soul beasts, and their age was also very young. Most of them were soul cultivators who would kill for soul bones, soul beast materials, and natural treasures in the forest. The soul beasts they killed were all 1,000-year and 10,000-year soul beasts. A single one of them could take on dozens or even hundreds of other soul beasts. Soul masters only pay attention to their own strength. No one will think about this problem. Zhao Wuji sighed. His words made everyone fall into deep thought. They couldn't imagine what the world would be like if 1,000-year soul beasts became scarce. Was titled Douluo's 9th soul ring all purple? Or was the highest rank a soul master could reach was rank 40 or 50? Xiao Wu silently leaned on Tang San's shoulder. She was very depressed. After sweeping his gaze across everyone, Lin Feng clapped his hands and said, "All right, it's getting late. Everyone should return to their tents. At night, everyone can meditate. You're not allowed to sleep. Other than the auxiliary-type soul masters, everyone else will take turns keeping watch. I'll be the first sentry." Meditation could recover one's spirit, but the effect wasn't even half as good as sleeping. Furthermore, you couldn't always replace sleep with meditation. You had to sleep at least once a week. Otherwise, it wouldn't be good. Understood. Everyone nodded. I won't be here. I'll watch you from afar. Zhao Wuji nodded and quickly left the camp. Setting up camp in the forest was also a test. With Lin Feng beside him, Zhao Wuji didn't have to worry too much. He sat upright on a big tree not far away and meditated. A soul sage's perception was already very terrifying. Even if he was meditating, he would be able to detect any sound within 100 meters. Therefore, even if he was meditating, Zhao Wuji was confident that he could keep an eye on these people. Other than Ning, Rongrong, and Oscar, there were 6 people keeping watch. Each person would keep watch for about an hour and a half. Lin Feng didn't rely on his strength to bully others. If he said an hour and a half, he meant it. Seeing that the time was up, Lin Feng was about to call Dai Mu by. However, in the next second, he frowned and looked into the depths of the forest. It was a soul beast. Furthermore, it was an extremely powerful soul beast. That powerful aura definitely wasn't something a 10,000-year soul beast could possess. After glancing at Xiao Wu, Lin Feng immediately had an answer. Erming must be here. In a short moment, Lin Feng's mind was filled with thoughts. One plan after another flashed through his mind. In the end, he directly shouted at Zhao Wuji, "Teacher Zhao, come over and protect them. I found a soul beast that's very suitable for me. I'll go and hunt it." After shouting, Lin Feng didn't wait for everyone's reaction. He directly ran into the dense forest on the left. Erming ran from the depths of the forest on the right. Lin Feng's perception was very strong, and he was very familiar with the forest. He discovered Erming from afar. It would probably take a while for Zhao Wuji to discover him. Lin Feng ran to the left. Of course, it wasn't to stop Erming in advance. He wanted to use this opportunity to let Xiao San and Xiao Wu accidentally obtain soul rings. On the spot, Lin Feng's shout woke everyone up. Zhao Wuji immediately ran over. "Brat, you ran quite fast. You didn't even see if I agreed or not." After complaining, Zhao Wuji still waved his hand at everyone. "It's nothing. You guys continue to meditate. Don't worry about Lin Feng. This is only the periphery of the forest. With his strength, he won't be in danger. Everyone come over. Stand behind me." Before he could finish speaking, Zhao Wuji shouted. At the same time, the strength Vajra bear attached to his body and 7 soul rings appeared. This scene confused everyone. Wasn't everything fine just now? Why did it seem like a disaster was about to befall them all of a sudden? However, Lin Feng had said that anything was possible in the Stardow Great Forest. Teacher Zhao must have discovered some danger with his actions. With that thought, no one hesitated and everyone came behind Zhao Wuji. At this moment, Zhao Wuji said with a serious expression, "Mu Bai, listen carefully. If anything happens later, don't worry about me. Take them away from here immediately. Don't worry about Lin Feng either. Everyone, get out of the Stardow Great Forest first. Do you hear me?" "Yes." Dai Mubai nodded heavily. He knew the seriousness of the matter for Zhao Wuji, a soul sage, to say such words. The others also had serious expressions and looked around vigilantly. Suddenly, the 2 towering trees in front of him seemed to be moved by a huge force and fell to the sides. Immediately after, a figure the size of a small mountain walked out from the middle of the 2 trees. For a moment, everyone subconsciously held their breaths. Chapter 98. This scene not only shocked Zhao Wuji's group, but even Lin Feng, who was secretly observing from aside, was shocked. This was the first time he had seen such a huge creature in his 2 lives. It wasn't an exaggeration to say that it was a small mountain. Its shoulders alone were 7 to 8 meters wide. At this moment, it was on all fours and squatting in front of everyone. It was close to 10 meters tall. Its overall height was at least 15 meters. It was one size bigger than King Kong in the movies. It had a pair of lantern-sized eyes, which shone with a yellow crystal-like light. Under the moonlight, its dark fur emitted a faint glow. The most important thing was its body. Its explosive muscles could be called the Schwarzenegger of the animal world. The scary thing was that such a huge fellow didn't make any sound when it walked, not even the sound of breathing. It went against common sense. It's the king of the forest, the Titan giant ape. Tang Sen almost shouted out Erming's identity with a trembling voice. To be called the king of the forest, the bloodline of the Titan giant ape, was extremely terrifying. Previously, Lin Feng had divided the bloodlines of soul beasts into 4 levels: ordinary, elite, ferocious beast, and ancient ferocious beast. Xiao Ying evolved because of Lin Feng's life force, but it was only at the elite level. At 5,000 years, it could unleash the strength of an ordinary 7,000-year soul beast. As for the Titan giant ape, it could already be classified as an ancient ferocious beast. At the 100-year level, it could match an ordinary 10,000-year soul beast. If it was a 10,000-year soul beast, even an ordinary titled Douluo wouldn't dare to provoke it. This was equivalent to a soul emperor daring to challenge a titled Douluo. Wait, wasn't this talking about Lin Feng himself? A mere soul emperor wouldn't be afraid if he met a titled Douluo. But then again, the power of the bloodline was really terrifying. It was actually comparable to a cheat. However, now wasn't the time for Lin Feng to be in a daze. The 1,000 trickery ruler appeared in his left hand and instantly turned into 3 streams of light. One flew to Lin Feng's face and turned into a mask. One of them flew toward his body and turned into a black armor. The last one slowly turned into a long staff in his left hand. Just like that, Mr. Destroy, Thanos' old alias, appeared once again. After transforming into Thanos, Lin Feng began to slowly move towards Erming. At the same time, on Tang San's side, Zhao Wuji couldn't understand why a terrifying soul beast like the Titan giant ape would appear in the outskirts of the Stardow Great Forest. It's not like it's 100-year-old. This guy is at least 10,000 years old. That was a titled battle pet warrior on par with Douluo. Come to the periphery of the forest? Did he have nothing better to do? This was truly 8 lifetimes of bad luck. Although he was cursing in his heart, Zhao Wuji took a step forward when he noticed that Erming did not attack immediately. Respected king of the forest, we didn't mean to offend you. If this is your territory, we will leave immediately. At this point, there was no point in thinking about anything else. The most important thing was to survive. However, Erming ignored Zhao Wuji's words. He kept looking at Xiao Wu and then took a step forward. This simple action might just be Erming trying to get closer to Xiao Wu, but to Zhao Wuji and the others, this was a very dangerous sign. After all, Erming was so huge. Even a small step would shorten the distance by a lot. Everyone, including Zhao Wuji, panicked. Xiao Wu wanted to ask Erming to leave, but she couldn't reveal her identity in front of everyone. She was very anxious at this moment. As for the others, they were all shocked. Zhao Wuji was a rank 76 soul sage, but in front of Erming, who was a powerful soul beast that could fight Douluo, he was as weak as a canoe in the sea. He couldn't escape. Zhao Wuji wasn't a speed-type soul sage. Otherwise, he would have had a chance to escape with 1 or 2 people if he used his martial soul true body. Right now, all he could do was block the king of the forest for a moment and buy some time for the children to escape. Perhaps he might be lucky enough to survive and escape. This was already the best outcome. Otherwise, everyone would have died. As he thought about this, Zhao Wuji gritted his teeth and said, "I'll block him. All of you eat Oscar's mushroom intestines and leave this place. Don't worry about me, and don't hesitate. Otherwise, all of us will die. As for Lin Feng, I wish him luck." After saying this, Zhao Wuji took in a deep breath. His 7 soul rings shone brightly, and he charged towards Erming. "Xiao-san, bring everyone away. I'll help teacher," Dai Mubai said. After that, he activated his 3rd soul skill and charged towards Erming. On the spot, everyone looked at Tang San, their faces full of determination. "I'm not leaving. I want to help them." After Ning Rongrong finished speaking, she summoned her 7 treasures glazed pagoda. 4 streaks of light supported Dai Mubai and Zhao Wuji. Seeing this, Tang San didn't hesitate at all. He said, "Ma Hong Jun, your flames will provoke other soul beasts and even anger the Titan giant ape. Therefore, don't attack. Just be in charge of providing support. Zhu Zhuqing, you'll be in charge of observing the surroundings. If you discover any soul beasts approaching, alert us immediately. Oscar, prepare the mushroom sausages in advance. We'll be ready to run at any time. Xiao Wu, prepare to attack. I'll support you in the middle." After learning from Lin Feng for so long, Tang San didn't panic in the face of danger. Furthermore, Tang San was prepared to reveal his full strength when he encountered an existence that he couldn't defeat. After all, compared to hiding his strength, survival was the most important thing. "Roger." Everyone nodded and prepared to fight as a team. Ning Rongrong's soul skill also supported everyone. At this moment, although everyone knew that they were courting death, they still pressed forward. There was no other reason other than that they were a team. Don't abandon them. Don't give up. In the original work, the life and death friendship of Shrek's 7 monsters also began from this moment. Under Tang San's command, the few of them assisted Zhao Wuji in battle. However, they had taken it for granted and thought that they would be able to restrain him. Who knew that after being punched by Zhao Wuji, Erming seemed to be enraged and directly let out a roar that contained soul power. For a moment, the sound waves were monstrous. The main attacker, Zhao Wuji, was directly sent flying and fell not far away. Dai Mubai, who was charging at the front, was also sent flying and fainted in mid-air. The others who were closer also covered their ears and fell to the ground with contorted faces. They had lost their ability to fight. The few who were further away were slightly better, but they were also extremely uncomfortable and had no ability to fight. Seeing this, Zhao Wuji felt a little despair. He originally wanted to leave a few geniuses for the Shrek Academy, but he didn't expect that they would all be foolishly left here. However, at this moment, Lin Feng, who was in the dense forest on the left, secretly said, "It's time. Armored demonic bear transformation, activate. Netherworld power, activate. Lightning wings, activate." With the support of the three major statuses, the lightning wings flapped lightly. Lin Feng turned into a bolt of lightning and smashed the staff toward Erming's chest. Erming seemed to have noticed the danger and immediately stopped roaring. He turned to face Lin Feng and went into a defensive posture. However, Lin Feng's speed was simply too fast and his timing was perfect. Even if Erming made a blocking action, he already had no chance to counterattack. They saw that the staff was still very small at the beginning, but the closer it got to Erming, the bigger it rapidly became. 2 meters, 5 meters, 10 meters, 20 meters. Bang! A loud sound. The staff that became a big club smashed into Erming's chest. Under Tang San and Zhao Wuji's shocked eyes, Erming's huge body actually couldn't block this club and was sent flying, smashing countless trees. For a moment, the fallen leaves fell and the soul beasts fled in all directions. In the same place, Lin Feng was wearing a pitch-black armor. Under the moonlight, it seemed to be plated with a layer of silver light. He had a pair of wings on his back and a snow-white mask on his face. He held a 20-meter-long white staff in his hand. That scene, which was like a god descending to the mortal world, was deeply engraved in their minds. It would be difficult to erase it in their lifetime. Chapter 99. Erming was completely enraged after being sent flying by the club. It quickly got up from the ground and attacked Lin Feng. However, Lin Feng didn't panic at all. He first glanced at everyone indifferently, then charged towards Erming. Black, 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 black. 5 pitch-black soul rings appeared in the night, and in an instant, one of them shone. 4th soul skill, Flame Garland. The club in Lin Feng's hand suddenly became about 5 meters long, and a bright red garland suddenly appeared at the top of the club. It was imbued with terrifying power, and Lin Feng was able to withstand it as it hurtled directly toward Erming. Erming was very strong, and Lin Feng could go all out. He didn't have to worry about killing it at all. It would be good enough if he could injure it. Erming seemed to have sensed the energy contained in the garland. Although it wouldn't cause too much damage to it, it wouldn't foolishly get beaten up. It growled, and an invisible barrier seemed to be erected in front of it. When Lin Feng's flame garland approached Erming, it was blocked by a barrier. Unexpectedly, he was blocked by the air, and then an explosion occurred. The impact of the explosion even sent Lin Feng flying. Good fellow, it's worthy of being an ancient beast. It hasn't even been 100,000 years, and its strength has already reached the level of a tidal Douluo. It's really strong. While complaining, Lin Feng didn't hesitate. He grabbed the club and continued to hit it. Just as Lin Feng and Erming were fighting back and forth, Zhao Wuji quickly gathered the children together. Other than Dai Mubai, who was unconscious, everyone else ate Oscar sausage and tried their best to recover from their injuries. Xiao-san, you seem to be shouting. Thanos just now? His Majesty's name is Thanos? After heaving a sigh of relief, Zhao Wuji asked Tang San. It wasn't Zhao Wuji's fault. Those were 5 pitch-black 10,000-year soul rings, which were definitely the symbol of a tidal Douluo. As for a 100,000-year soul ring, Zhao Wuji had never heard of a tidal Douluo with a 100,000-year 9th soul ring. Therefore, when Lin Feng revealed his 5 black soul rings, Zhao Wuji was sure that Lin Feng was a tidal Douluo. Yes, he's Thanos, Mr. Destroy. He saved my life 5 years ago in the soul-hunting forest. At the same time, Fungo also came into contact with him. Tang Sen looked at the battle in the distance with a hint of relief on his face. If it weren't for Mr. Destroy, all of them would have died. The moment he saw Lin Feng's mask, Tang San recognized him. When they were in the soul-hunting forest, he and the master were saved by him. And it was the same this time. Feng Gu said that Mr. Destroy is very powerful and handsome, but he has never seen Mr. Destroy's true strength. Just now, Mr. Zhao, You called Mr. Destroy His Majesty. Is he a title Douluo? His Majesty was an honorific title for title Douluo. Tang Sen knew about it. He has 5 10,000-year soul rings and can fight the Titan Ape, the king of the forest. He must be a title Douluo. Zhao Wuji said with certainty. On the continent of Douluo, there were very few title Douluo. They were very lucky to have met one. Can a title Douluo defeat this Titan Ape? Xiao Wu suddenly asked with concern. She stared at the battle not far away, hoping that Lin Feng was just passing by and would leave after the battle. She hoped that her identity would not be discovered. Difficult. Zhao Wuji shook his head. The Titan Ape is a very powerful soul beast. This one should be more than 50,000 years old. A title Douluo can drive it away, but it will be difficult for him to defeat it. Zhao Wuji's understanding of title Douluo and 100,000-year soul beasts was very shallow. He knew even less than Tang San. However, he was right on this occasion. Lin Feng was indeed able to stall Ming, but he was completely unable to do anything to it. He was able to send it flying with one hit because he had used a sneak attack. Now that Ming was fighting him head-on, Lin Feng couldn't even break his defense, let alone cause any damage. Of course, Ming's attack was not very strong. At least, it couldn't hit Lin Feng. The two sides were in a deadlock. After hearing Zhao Wuji's words, Xiao Wu heaved a sigh of relief. Teacher Zhao, should we go up and help? Tang Sen wasn't seriously injured. After eating Oscar's sausage, he had almost recovered. A battle between titled Douluo is not something we can participate in. Zhao Wuji shook his head. We were lucky that we weren't killed just now. Otherwise, that Titan Ape would have killed me with one punch. Just as they were talking, suddenly, an accident happened in the battle not far away. Lin Feng was thinking about how to separate Zhao Wuji and the others when Ming suddenly roared. The space around him slowed down. Lin Feng's speed was greatly reduced, and he was accidentally sent flying. Lin Feng used his life force to heal himself while he was in the air. However, Ming was already running toward Zhao Wuji and the others. After thinking for a moment, Lin Feng didn't go over to stop Ming right away. Instead, he activated the power of the netherworld and kept a distance. If Ming hurt anyone, he would intervene. Teacher Zhao, the Titan giant ape had sent Lord Mief flying. It's coming this way, Tang San said in a low voice. I see it. Zhao Wuji stood up immediately and activated his martial soul true body. Ming's attack was horrifying. Zhao Wuji had experienced it before. At that moment, he only hoped that his martial soul true body could stall Ming for a while and wait for Thanos to come to his rescue. In fact, they should have left earlier, but Tang San said that they knew each other, so Zhao Wuji stayed here in the end. Otherwise, for safety reasons, he would have left long ago. Xiao San, take everyone and retreat first. Dai Mubai was still unconscious, so only Tang San could give orders now. After saying that, Zhao Wuji, who had already transformed into his martial soul true body, rushed toward Ming. It had to be said that when Zhao Wuji's martial soul true body was unleashed, his body was also abnormally huge. However, it was nothing in front of Ming. Ming seemed to know that Lin Feng might come over immediately, so he didn't care about Zhao Wuji at all. He activated his gravity domain and made Zhao Wuji lie on the ground instantly. Then, Ming slapped the ground, and Tang San and the others, who were about to escape, were sent flying. Then, under Tang San's horrified gaze, Ming grabbed Xiao Wu and ran directly into the depths of the forest. No! Tang San let out a desperate roar. Then, he chased after Ming without caring about anything else. Zhao Wuji wanted to stop Tang San and not let him die. However, how could Lin Feng let go of such a good opportunity? He directly came in front of everyone. A hoarse voice sounded, "Watch them." After saying that, Lin Feng turned into a stream of light and rushed toward Ming. Seeing this, Zhao Wuji was stunned. He had missed the best opportunity to bring Tang San back. After all, there was still a large group of students here, and Dai Mubai was still unconscious. Zhao Wuji couldn't ignore the safety of Ning Rongrong and the others for Tang San. Chapter 100. Ding. After a thrilling battle, the host defeated the 84,156-year-old beast, Titan Giant Ape. Battle experience increased. Experience points plus 314,1592. As soon as he left, the system notification sounded in Lin Feng's mind. Oh, Erming was an 80,000-year-old beast. No wonder its skin was so hard that it couldn't be broken. Looking at the experience points, 1, 10, 100, 1,000, a million. It was actually more than 3 million. How could fighting an 80,000-year-old beast give so much experience? What if he fought a 100,000-year-old beast? Or even a titled Douluo? Wouldn't it be more than 10 million? Just thinking about it made him look forward to it. But Lin Feng didn't have time to think too much at this time. He still had a chase after Erming. Lin Feng was very fast. Tang San, a small soul elder, was caught up by Lin Feng in less than 10 seconds. Mr. Destroy, I beg you, save Xiao Wu. We are Lin Feng's friends. We are the assistant of the Lord in the soul-hunting forest a few years ago. As soon as he got close, Tang San shouted almost pleadingly. Looking at his desperate eyes, Lin Feng sighed slightly. Tang San, this brat, really had deep feelings for Xiao Wu. We will save her. Go back. It's dangerous in the depths. Without saying much, Lin Feng quickly chased into the depths of the forest. After all, Thanos was Lin Feng's main account, so his character setting couldn't be changed. After Lin Feng left, Tang San was deeply upset. Why was he so weak that he couldn't even protect Xiao Wu? In the end, he still had a hand over the hope of Xiao Wu's survival to someone else. Now, he couldn't do anything but wait for the result. After being vexed for a while, he suddenly remembered that Lin Feng had gone to the left side of the forest. He should have gone to the soul-luring beast. He had to find Feng Ge first. With that thought in mind, Tang San immediately ran to the left. On the other side, when Lin Feng caught up with Erming, he found a very interesting scene. Erming was fighting with someone, and the opponent was someone that Lin Feng had just seen. It was Snake Granny. Of course, she was not alone. There was also Duke Long. The two of them used their martial soul fusion technique and fought with Erming. On the side, Meng Iran had been knocked unconscious and was lying on the ground. Not far away, Xiao Wu was staring at the field, and from time to time, she would look in Lin Feng's direction with a worried expression. Mr. Destroy should be catching up soon. If Erming was entangled with both sides, it would be a little dangerous. And most importantly, according to Teacher Zhao, Mr. Destroy should be a titled Douluo. If he was seen by him, his identity as a soul beast might be exposed. Although Feng Ge kept saying how good Mr. Destroy was, in front of the huge temptation of 100,000-year soul ring and soul bone, which soul master could withstand the test. Therefore, at this time, Xiao Wu was very anxious, but due to Serpent's presence, she did not dare to remind Erming. On the side, Lin Feng glanced at the situation and roughly understood the situation. That Serpent was being beaten back by Erming and probably would not be able to hold on for long. If not for the gravity domain entangling her, she would have run away long ago. As for Xiao Wu, she was probably worried about his identity as Thanos. After all, Zhao Wuji just thought that he was a titled Douluo. If his identity as a soul beast was exposed, it would be terrible. In just a moment, Lin Feng had a plan in mind. While Erming was engaged in a fierce battle with Lord Dragon and Lady Snake, Lin Feng took the opportunity to strike Erming with his 20-meter-long cudgel, crushing a dozen or so ancient trees. Once again, the latter was sent flying. Serpent was stunned. Where's the beast? Where did it go? In the next second, they saw Lin Feng with 5 black soul rings shining. Thank you for saving us, Your Majesty. The two reacted quickly and immediately bowed their heads to express their gratitude. Lin Feng said coldly, "Get out. This is my prey." "Yes, Your Majesty. We'll get out of here right now." In front of a titled law, the two did not dare to show the slightest disrespect. They immediately turned around and carried Meng Iran away, not even looking at Xiao Wu. Lin Feng also did not look at Xiao Wu, who was hiding behind a tree. He directly rushed toward Erming and engaged in a fierce battle, moving farther and farther away. Only after Lin Feng was far away did Xiao Wu walk out from behind the tree. Her back was already soaked in cold sweat. On the other side, because no one was watching, Lin Feng no longer had any scruples. He activated Life Bloom, and an endless amount of life energy was added to his body. Next, he fought without any regard for his life. Every punch landed on flesh, and, at the cost of injuries, he madly beat back Erming. In a short while, he beat Erming into the depths of the forest. At that moment, Lin Feng suddenly sensed an even stronger soul power fluctuation coming from the depths of the forest. He knew that Daming had sensed the battle and was preparing to come to support him. Lin Feng did not continue fighting. He shouted, "Go back to the depths of the forest. Otherwise, you won't be able to go back the next time we come out." After saying those words, Lin Feng wanted to run. However, Erming knew how powerful Lin Feng was and was afraid that Lin Feng would discover Xiao Wu's identity. Therefore, he activated his gravity domain at full force, trying to keep Lin Feng here. He knew that as long as Daming came, Lin Feng would definitely die. It had to be said that Erming's domain was very strong. It seemed to have some kind of law. Even Lin Feng's netherworld energy could not escape quickly. However, Lin Feng wanted to escape. Erming was not 100,000-year-old beast after all. In the end, Lin Feng escaped before Daming arrived. It roared angrily and wanted to chase after them, but Daming called it back and convinced it not to come out and chase after them. The reason was very simple. Daming was not that silly Erming. It was very smart and much stronger than Erming. It had already reached the level of 100,000 years. It sensed Xiao Wu's aura on Lin Feng's body. Moreover, it was not a short one, but a unique aura that only existed after long-term contact. Therefore, Daming knew that Lin Feng must have been in contact with Xiao Wu often. Furthermore, it was certain that Lin Feng did not harm Xiao Wu. Otherwise, Xiao Wu would have become a soul ring long ago. Therefore, it did not let Erming continue chasing because it could guess some of Lin Feng's thoughts. Not to mention that Daming and Erming had returned to the depths of the forest. At this moment, Lin Feng was far away from Erming. He quickly took off Thanos' disguise and rushed toward Xiao Wu. Xiao Wu was not where she was. She had already left. However, Lin Feng was the little prince of the forest. The forest was simply his home. He easily found Xiao Wu's figure. Without hesitation, Lin Feng ran up. "Xiao Wu, it's great that you're fine. I just met Mr. Destroy. He said he came to save you." Fengge. The moment she saw Lin Feng, Xiao Wu pounced on him. The fear and worry in her heart instantly turned into a sense of security. After being together for so long as Big Brother Lin Feng was there, Xiao Wu would feel a sense of security. It's okay. Let's go back." Lin Feng comforted her. At the same time, he thought to himself, this accidental process of obtaining a soul ring is really unexpected. Chapter 101. Where's third brother? Xiao Wu asked on the way back. "He's fine. You should have gone back already," Lin Feng said uncertainly. Tang Sen was still relatively steady. He also had the protagonist's aura, so he should be fine. While heaving a sigh of relief, Xiao Wu continued to ask, "Is Mr. Destroy going to kill that Titan giant ape? Will he come back to find us?" Although Mr. Destroy is powerful, it's still difficult for him to kill the Titan giant ape. He should have just chased it away. As for whether he'll come back or not, I don't think so. He said he had to go to the setting sun forest for some business. I don't know when we'll meet again. Lin Feng had already thought of these excuses, so he said them very smoothly. So that's how it is. Xiao Wu nodded. This time, she was completely relieved. At the same time, Kinduru Ashen barged into the periphery of the Star Do Great Forest and began to search for Zhao Wuji and the others. With his strength, it wouldn't take long for him to find everyone. On the other side, Tang San encountered a 3,000-year man-faced demon spider on the way to find Lin Feng. In order to survive, Tang San fought with it. In the end, he used all his strength and killed it. As for the spider, when it died, Its corpse was coincidentally lying on Tang San's back. The moment his soul ring appeared, something strange seemed to have happened. Lin Feng and Xiao Wu sprinted all the way to Zhao Wuji. Because of the commotion caused by Erming, not many soul beasts dared to show themselves. Their journey was smooth and unimpeded. At the same time, on Zhao Wuji's side, his injuries were not light, but in order to protect the students, he still stood his ground. After eating a few of Oscar's sausages, he vigilantly observed his surroundings. Dai Mubai was still unconscious. As for the others, apart from Oscar and Ning Rongrong, who were a bit better off, everyone else had suffered varying degrees of internal injuries. They had all eaten Oscar's sausages and were using their soul force to heal themselves. Teacher Zhao, Lin Feng, and the others will be fine, right? Ning Rongrong couldn't help but ask. This sentence obviously attracted everyone's attention, and they all looked at Zhao Wuji at the same time. The latter was stunned for a moment, then sighed. With His Holiness Thanos' help, it should be fine. Almost half an hour had passed, and none of the three had returned. Actually, it was already a disaster. Zhao Wuji just didn't say the worst-case scenario. That's good. Ning Rongrong smiled. Like I said, Lin Feng is so strong. How could anything happen to him? That's right. Feng Ge is a man who could defeat a Soul King with one punch. Nothing can happen to him. He will also bring Tang San and Xiao Wu back. Oscar added. Hearing this, everyone heaved a sigh of relief. However, Zhao Wuji couldn't bear to say anything. He just told everyone that Lin Feng had gone to save them. But in reality, he knew that Lin Feng should have been fighting with a strong soul beast. There had been no news for so long. It was really a narrow escape. And just as Zhao Wuji had this thought, the dense forest in the distance shook, causing him to immediately look in that direction. In the next second, to his surprise, Xiao Wu and Lin Feng actually walked out from there. Feng Ge, you're fine. That's great. The moment she saw Lin Feng, Ning Rongrong ran over with a face full of joy. However, when she got closer, she slowed down and stood in front of Lin Feng with a slightly reserved look. Not far away, Zhu Zhuqing also glanced at Lin Feng. After seeing that he was fine, she continued to use her soul power to heal. And I'm fine. Lin Feng glanced at everyone and asked doubtfully, Where's Xiao San? Didn't he come back? I heard from Mr. Destroy that Xiao San came back first. I didn't see him. Zhao Wuji shook his head and asked, Did you meet His Majesty Thanos? Hearing the word His Majesty, Lin Feng felt that it was quite interesting, but his mind wasn't on it at the moment. After a simple explanation of what happened just now, Lin Feng immediately said, I'll go look for Xiao San. After saying that, Lin Feng waved his hand and the immeasurable flower appeared. Green vitality spread out, and the injuries on everyone's body healed at a speed visible to the naked eye. Even Dai Mubai quickly woke up. Feng Ge, your first soul skill is group recovery. Xiao Wu was shocked. After so many years, this was the first time she had seen such a scene. Lin Feng had never done this before. Yes, did I say it was a single target soul skill? Lin Feng said matter-of-factly. Xiao Wu was speechless. While the two of them were talking, the others' faces were full of shock. Previously, everyone had only experienced Lin Feng using vitality to recover their physical strength. As for injuries, they had never experienced it. Now that they had experienced it for the first time, they wanted to give it a 5-star rating. One at a time, they could enjoy it 5 times. If Lin Feng knew what everyone was thinking, he would seriously praise them. You guys are really smart and logical. Okay, you guys wait here. I'll go find Tang San. After saying that, Lin Feng was about to set off. I'll go too, Xiao Wu immediately said. We'll all go. The others also reacted from the shock and said in unison. After thinking about it, Lin Feng nodded. Then let's go. Originally, he wanted to quickly search for him alone. Since everyone wanted to go, then he would go together. When the time came, he wouldn't have to run back to meet up with them. As for Tang San's safety, Erming and Lin Feng had just wreaked havoc in the vicinity. What danger could there be? Just like that, the group of people walked in the direction Tang San had chased. At this time, our student Tang San was experiencing something very painful. His third soul ring was a 1,700-year-old demon vine spider that Fenggu had brought him to hunt. But today, when he killed this 3,000-year-old man-faced demon spider, he didn't know if it was because of the spider or because of his soul ring, but the man-faced demon spider's soul ring actually fused with Tang San's original third soul ring. This process was very painful. Tang San relied on his strong willpower to barely prevent himself from fainting. In this state, he didn't have time to think about why this happened. Why did the soul ring fuse? At this time, he only wanted to live. He still had Xiao Wu to save. He hadn't seen Fenggu yet, so he couldn't die. Just like that, he didn't know how much time had passed. In a daze, he heard Lin Feng shout. Immediately after, a warm current flowed through his body. The pain of the soul ring fusion instantly disappeared, and he felt refreshed. When Tang San opened his eyes, he found that there were people in front of him. Zhao Wuji, Fenggu, Xiao Wu, Dai Mubai, and so on. Everyone was here looking at him. Xiao Wu, Tang San's eyes lit up, and he immediately hugged Xiao Wu in ecstasy. "You're okay, that's great." At the side, Lin Feng rubbed his nose. "So in your eyes, you only see Xiao Wu. Everyone else isn't human." Chapter 102. After discovering that Tang San was also fine, everyone let out a sigh of relief. At this moment, Zhao Wuji saw the corpse of the man-faced demon spider behind them. He asked in astonishment, "Xiao San, is this the soul beast you killed alone?" From his experience, this spider soul beast was definitely more than 1,000 years old. It was probably more than 2,000 years old. Tang San was actually able to kill it alone. He was very strong. "And I came to find Fenggu, but it ambushed me. In order to survive, I killed it." Tang San nodded. Thinking back to the previous battle, he was still shocked. This spider was really too strong. It was a 3,000-year soul beast. If he hadn't become a soul elder, and if he didn't have a hidden weapon, he would have died here. "Wait, where's its soul ring? Did you absorb it?" At this moment, Zhao Wuji realized that there was no soul ring on the spider's corpse. Hearing this, Tang San didn't immediately answer. Instead, he looked at Lin Feng, as if he had something to say. But seeing so many people, he didn't say anything. He only nodded. "Yes, I absorbed it." At this moment, Lin Feng realized, where's the soul ring? Didn't Tang San already absorb his third soul ring? How come the corpse's soul ring was gone? The duration of a soul ring was determined by the strength of the soul beast when it was alive. For a 3,000-year soul beast like this, its soul ring could last for at least 4 to 5 hours. This man-faced demon spider clearly hadn't died for long. Where's its soul ring? This soul beast seems to be at least 2,000 years old. You were able to absorb it? Zhao Wuji was only slightly suspicious, but not shocked. After all, there was a super monster with a 10,000-year soul ring next to him. A 2,000-year soul beast was just a drop in the ocean. "I'm already a soul elder now." Without further explanation, Tang San directly released his martial soul. Immediately after, 2 yellow and 1 purple soul ring appeared. The purple soul ring's color is actually so deep. Lin Feng was bewildered. He remembered very clearly that the devil vine spider he had helped Tang San kill was around 1,700 years old. Although its soul ring was also purple, it was definitely not as deep as this. This soul ring was at least 3,000 years old. But how was that possible? How could Tang San's soul rings increase in age? Or did he absorb 2 soul rings? In any case, Lin Feng had a lot of doubts in his heart. He didn't understand what was going on. But what happened next shocked everyone. The clothes on Tang San's back suddenly exploded, and in the next second, his expression became extremely painful. Fine blood beads emerged from his skin all over his body, and his whole body was twitching violently. Immediately after, 8 purplish-black objects grew out from his back. They grew at an extremely fast speed, reaching more than 3 meters in the blink of an eye. There were joints in the middle, and the ends were sharp cones. At this moment, Tang San looked exactly like a spider. What is this? Other than Lin Feng, everyone else was a little confused. Why did Tang San suddenly turn into a spider? Lin Feng, on the other hand, was stunned and astonished. This is the 8th spider spear. When he helped Tang San kill the devil vine spider, Lin Feng thought that he would grow out the 8th spider spear. However, it didn't happen at that time. Lin Feng thought that Tang San's protagonist aura wasn't working anymore. Now it seemed that the protagonist was indeed worthy of being the protagonist. He could even do something as impossible as a soul ring fusion. No one else could do it. Xiao San, why are spider legs on your body? Dai Mubai said with a strange expression. Hearing this, everyone looked at the man-faced demon spider, then looked at the 8 bone spears on Tang San's back. It's true. Tang San, why did you turn into a spider? Ning Rongrong's face was full of curiosity. Ma Hongjun, the silly guy, was even bolder. He reached out to touch the bone spears on Tang San's back. Lin Feng helplessly stepped to Ma Hongjun's side and hit him on the back of his head. Feng Ge, why did you hit me? Ma Hongjun touched his head with a wronged expression. After the trip to the Star Do Great Forest, Lin Feng's powerful strength and rich experience had convinced everyone. Other than Dai Mubai, who called him Captain too much, everyone else had changed the way they called him Feng Ge. Don't touch Xiao San's 8 bones. They're poisonous. Lin Feng said indifferently. Feng Ge, what's going on with me? Tang San immediately asked Lin Feng. Not only him, but everyone looked at Lin Feng like curious babies. After all, they had never seen or even heard of such a thing. At this moment, Lin Feng pretended to look and then said, this should be a mutation of the soul ring, and then a special soul bone grew. If we were to give it a name, it would be called an external soul bone. What? Soul bone? Everyone was shocked. Even Zhao Wuji's expression was slightly strange, and a trace of envy flashed through his eyes. For a soul master, the 2 most attractive things were a 100,000-year soul ring and a soul bone. Even the trashiest soul bone was a priceless treasure. At this moment, Tang San actually mutated a soul bone from a 1,000-year soul beast, which made them very surprised. This was because everyone knew that the earlier a soul bone was obtained, the greater the improvement it would bring to a soul master. And Tang San had obtained his first soul bone as a soul elder. His future achievements were limitless. Isn't it just a soul bone? Why are all of your eyes so wide open? Lin Feng's indifferent tones sounded, as if he was disdainful of the soul bone. When Ning Rongrong heard this, she was immediately unconvinced. What do you mean, isn't it just a soul bone? Do you know how precious a soul bone is? It's a treasure that can only be found by chance. Even the trashiest soul bone would cost more than 100,000 gold coins. Isn't it just 100,000 gold coins? You make it sound like no one has it. Lin Feng's lips curled into a rich smile. In these years, Lin Feng had saved up quite a bit of money. Although it wasn't much, it was almost 200,000 gold coins. Ning Rongrong suddenly stopped talking. She recalled how Lin Feng had played her for 400 gold coins. This damn guy. He's so rich, but he still played me. Could it be this is the joy of being rich? Everyone else also looked at Lin Feng in a daze. No. What does this mean? Lin Feng is so rich. He actually has 100,000 gold coins. How should everyone describe their feelings at this moment? It was like if you had a university classmate who was very hardworking in his studies and was also very knowledgeable. He was always the top student in his year and would receive scholarships every semester. Furthermore, he was often evaluated as an outstanding student by the school. At this time, you would subconsciously think that he was a child from an ordinary family. The reason why he worked so hard in his studies was so that he could find a good job in the future. However, one day, you would find out that his family actually had a few 100 million gold coins. I believe that no one would be able to calmly accept this fact. Don't be in a daze. Lin Feng clapped his hands to wake everyone up. Look around. This is the Star Do Great Forest, not the Shrek Academy. Can you be a little more vigilant? And Xiao San, keep that soul bone of yours. It's too ugly. When they heard Lin Feng say that the soul bone was ugly, for some reason, everyone felt like crying. Chapter 103. After Tang San put away the 8th spider spear, everyone's mood gradually calmed down. At this moment, Lin Feng said, "Okay, now that Xiao San has also obtained a soul ring, our Star Do Great Forest trip can be considered to have come to a perfect end. We can go back now." "Feng, you also obtained a soul ring?" Oscar asked doubtfully. When Lin Feng came over earlier, he only talked about how to save Xiao Wu and didn't mention that they had also obtained soul rings. "Yes," Lin Feng explained. "Previously, I went out alone to hunt soul beasts. On the way back after saving Xiao Wu, I also helped Xiao Wu kill one." "Then how old is your third soul ring?" Dai Mubai asked curiously. At the same time, this was something that everyone, including Tang San and Xiao Wu, wanted to know. After all, Lin Feng's second soul ring was already a 10,000-year soul ring. What about his third soul ring? Hearing this question, Lin Feng didn't answer, but his soul power trembled slightly. Yellow, black, black. 3 soul rings instantly appeared. Although everyone was mentally prepared, they couldn't help but be shocked when a 10,000-year third soul ring appeared. A soul elder with 2 10,000-year soul rings. Lin Feng was truly terrifying. "Okay, your curiosity has been satisfied. Let's go back." At Lin Feng's command, everyone began to walk out of the Star Do Great Forest. As for Zhao Wuji, at this moment, he seemed to have turned into a small follower and followed behind everyone. However, what Lin Feng didn't know was that as they walked back, Kanduru Ashen was getting closer and closer to Lin Feng and the others. Half an hour later, Lin Feng suddenly frowned. He sensed the aura of a very strong person, the kind that couldn't be matched. It was definitely a titled Douluo, and it was above level 95. Most importantly, the other party seemed to have discovered them and was rushing over at full speed. The Thousand Trickster ruler in Lin Feng's left hand turned into a small leaf and attached itself to Xiao Wu's body. It emitted a special wave of soul power to protect her. In the next second, Zhao Wuji also sensed Dusty Heart's soul power undulations. He immediately came in front of everyone and gestured for everyone to stop. At this moment, a sword light cut through the night from afar and instantly landed in front of everyone. It was so fast that other than Lin Feng, no one else could react in time. "Are you Zhao Wuji? That brat is called Lin Feng. Call him out for me." Hearing the voice, everyone realized that the speaker was an old man in white with white hair and a ruddy complexion. At this moment, his gaze was fixed on Zhao Wuji. Before he could answer, Ning Rongrong, who was in the middle of the crowd, was stunned for a moment before she ran out with a face full of surprise. "Grandpa Jian, why are you in the Star Do Great Forest?" "Grandpa Jian? Could it be Kanduru Ashen from the Seven Treasures Glazed Sect?" Zhao Wuji's pupil shrank. Did he see a ghost today? Thinking back to today's experience, Zhao Wuji felt like he was in a dream. First, they met the snake woman. Then they met the king of the forest, the Titan ape. At the critical moment, Lin Feng recognized His Majesty Thanos suddenly appeared and saved their lives. After that, he saw Tang San's external soul bone and a soul elder with 2 10,000-year soul rings. He had thought that this was everything, but on the way back, they would meet His Majesty Chun Xian of the Seven Treasures Glazed Sect. What the hell? Why am I here? Of course I'm here to help you vent your anger. Dusty Heart's face turned serious. I heard that a kid called Lin Feng scolded you until you cried. He even played with you. I want to see who has the guts to do that. Is he itching for a beating? Ning Rongrong was scolded to tears by Feng Ge, and he even played with her? When did this happen? Why didn't they know? For a moment, everyone was puzzled. Before Zhao Wuji could ask, Ning Rongrong said with a face full of shame and indignation, "Grandpa Jian, there's no such thing. There's no such thing. Feng Ge is still a good guy." Dusty Heart also took it for granted. He only wanted to help Ning Rongrong vent her anger. So he directly said the matter and didn't care about Ning Rongrong's thin skin. Dusty Heart also reacted and immediately changed the way he said it, shouting at Zhao Wuji, Okay, it's nothing. Zhao Wuji, hurry up and tell me. Who's Lin Feng? I don't like that kid right now, and I want to teach him a lesson. It's me." Lin Feng stood up openly. After hearing Dusty Heart say a few words, Lin Feng understood that this guy was here to help Ning Rongrong get back at her, just like how Tang Hao beat up Zhao Wuji. Since that was the case, it was better to admit it openly than to be coy. After Lin Feng stood up, he took a few steps forward so that everyone's attention was on him. This way, Dusty Heart didn't have time to care about Xiao Wu hiding behind Tang San. With the 1,000-chance ruler protecting Xiao Wu, as long as Dusty Heart didn't directly come into contact with Xiao Wu, he wouldn't be able to discover Xiao Wu's identity. However, Xiao Wu still didn't know about this matter. Hiding behind Tang San, her face was full of nervousness and her heart was frantically praying that she wouldn't be discovered. Grandpa Jian, your titled battle pet warrior, Douluo, Fenggu, is only a small soul elder. It's not appropriate for you to teach him a lesson, Ning Rongrong said when she saw Lin Feng stand up. When she was scolded by Lin Feng, Ning Rongrong was very angry and unconvinced. However, when they made the bet, she understood that Lin Feng was right. If she wanted to become stronger, she had to work twice as hard as she could. How could a support-type soul master be weaker than a battle soul master? Later on, under Lin Feng's leadership, Ning Rongrong experienced what teamwork was, and what survivability was. He was more like a teacher than Zhao Wuji. In the forest, he taught them some very practical things and benefited a lot. But now, Ning Rongrong realized that she didn't have the slightest bit of anger towards Lin Feng. He was the fist of the team, and so was Ning Rongrong. Team members should support each other. So when Dusty Heart wanted to teach Lin Feng a lesson, she had to protect him. Dusty Heart suddenly laughed when he heard her words. So, it's a little guy like you. You're quite handsome. No wonder Rongrong spoke up for you. He finally understood that Ning Rongrong had actually fallen for this kid. But then again, a 12-year-old soul elder was indeed worthy of Rongrong. However, he still had to test him. How could that be? Ning Rongrong hurriedly quibbled. To be honest, Ning Rongrong was a little confused. Did she like Lin Feng, or was it purely out of respect? Dusty Heart didn't bother with this question. He directly asked Zhao Wuji, I heard from Flanders that you came to the Star Do Great Forest this time to find a third soul ring for your 4 children? Which were you talking about? Zhao Wuji didn't dare to be negligent and immediately introduced Lin Feng and the others. When he introduced Xiao Wu's heart was about to fall into despair. However, when she realized that Dusty Heart only glanced at her and didn't care, she was very puzzled. Is this old man dim-sighted?